Boys in the back. Boys.
What is good? We are back with another episode of The Boys in the Back. This time, April 23rd, a beautiful day here in New York City. And we've got a beautiful show planned for you. I am one third of The Boys in the Back, Mr. Connor Burks, joined alongside me. As always, there he is. Mr. New York Ric Flair.
I feel like my hair is funky. I feel like the fuzziness of the haze outside the window is making you really pop and me really flat. It's a whole thing. I'm self-conscious right now. I feel uncomfortable in my own skin at the moment.
What the hell is this?
I don't know. Something's off. We're doing.
It's the Jackman flu, man.
It's the hair. Like the hair is growing over and it's like curling down and stuff. Like I don't know. I feel out of sorts.
You getting a haircut this weekend?
I am getting a haircut this weekend.
Quick snip. Are you
Shout
gonna
out
get
to.
Are you gonna get the
the
whiskers?
The beard's gonna get all trimmed up. Shout out to Jesse over at Level Up Cuts in Massapequa, the man, my hero, my forever barber. Sorry, Paulo Costa's my forever barber. Jesse is my side piece.
If for some reason you ever find yourself in Massapequa, go see Jesse.
Massapequa's a very nice town. In fact, I think it was voted one of the nicest cities, the nicest neighborhoods in America to live in.
By who?
If
the
not
residents
number
of
one.
Massapequa?
No, those consumer reports and all the bullshit that they do every year. It's up there.
Frankie, how are you, man?
I was doing all right until whatever that just was.
What was that?
That was just Long Island talk, you know?
Yeah, it's so weird.
Something that no one needs.
Do you need your golf sweater and you could tie it around your neck? And
Oh, is that what you think of Long Island?
that's exactly what it is.
The Long Island faithful are proud right now. Shout out to Jordan Kamzan, who's watching somewhere. I guess. I don't know. Who the fuck knows about Jordan?
I asked Rick what he was doing for the weekend. He's like, no, I got a cricket match.
Cricket?
Yeah. I'm like,
Oh, he told me he has to go watch polo. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be great. How was the concert last night, man?
Yeah, I had a really good time.
Conan?
There's a lot of Conan, yeah. They
O'Brien
opened for-
live?
All right. This joke has exhausted itself. I just heard it 5 minutes ago from Andy. I'm like, and she said the same thing. You went to a concert last night? Yeah. Who'd you see? Conan O'Brien, as if he is now a musical artist.
Okay,
he does it all.
But
He
who
does
is
it all.
Conan if not Conan O'Brien? I don't know another Conan.
Okay, well then, it's a band from England. They're called Conan.
Yeah.
It's doom metal.
Conan.
Conan.
O'Brien?
All right, moving on.
Brother.
What was that?
Brother.
All right. We got to do a UFC Apex 116 preview. We got to do bets. We got to do parlay pals. We got to do pound for pound rankings this week. Superheroes in honor of Ryan Superman Span on the card this weekend. We got to get to your voicemails. We got to get to your super chats. We got to do all that. We got to do the news and notes. But before that, two very, very special things we have to address. First, we got our own podcast feed. We said it last week. You guys brought the heat once again. We're pushing. We're trying to get those numbers up. We're definitely starting to get into that. We're getting close to 100 on Spotify and Apple. You want to see those triple digits next to you. 5 stars only. You know what to do. Rate, review, subscribe. But until we get to that 100, we want to read some of the reviews on the show. 5 stars only. Those are the only ones that get read. So we'll do that. Once again this week. There's one that in particular that I love. I think you guys will be able to pick it out. Let's run through a couple of these. Marissa Cooper. She says, been a fan for a hot minute. Love to see what you guys are building. Please get more merch, though. I bought the Uncrowned shirt, but I'm excited to see some new designs. We were having a meeting of the minds, a team dinner, some would say, last night at the great institution known as Veselka, just a few blocks over. There could be more merch in the future.
Yeah.
Could be more merch in the future. Maybe some other colorways, maybe some different fonts. Who's to check?
I feel like the BITB merch would bang, some specific BITB.
It's got to be real sick, though.
Yeah.
It's got to be real sick. All right, let's keep rolling. Roman Moore says, looking forward to every episode since the start. You can tell this crew is more than just colleagues, but friends, talking about their passion in such a fun format. Romaine, we really appreciate that. You couldn't be more wrong. I hate all these people. Just kidding. I love everyone here. You are right. We are more than just colleagues. Akin to
We're
one...
lovers.
Chill,
bro. Chill.
We don't talk about that on this program.
That was just a girls' trip. The other thing, the people are off to the side. Chill out.
Trip.
Chill out.
Friends weren't in the picture. Let's keep rolling with these reviews. John T. Hammond Painter. Struggled with that one. I've been watching the big dog since the start. The boys in the back and the crack have been amazing since day one. The whole team has created something special, and I wish you all nothing but positive vibes moving forward. Peace and love. Peace and love. We feel the same.
Love that,
about
John.
you, John.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Let's keep rolling. We got a few more here to get through. Kevin Gagnon 08. It's tough. 1 year ago, the boys in the back pulled me out of a burning building. Ah, yes, I remember this, Kevin. I wanted to say thanks to them, but the firefighters told me they already left to go feed the animals in the shelters. They are studs. That's it.com.
Wow.
Thanks for that one, Kev. No need to thank us, man. It's just what we do. It's just what we do on a weekly basis.
I love the content format where it's like somebody shooting their shot and everybody comes to like help them like in that way in the comments.
Yeah.
It's such a good format.
It's amazing. All right, we got a few more. Lexi Bongzo says, ultimately, the ultimate MMA podcast. Shout out.
Well
That is
done.
very meta. That is
Well
very
done.
good. A few more here to get through. How many stars? Who's to check?
True.
Thank you, Yago. We
Wait,
appreciate
remind
that.
me, this is Apple now? These are the Apple
Yeah,
ones?
now these are
Okay.
apples. Simply the best. Simply the best. This is from Dolphin Woody. Another tough one. When it comes to combat sports podcasts, this one is on another level. When you're comparing it to the others, it's like BITB are beating up babies.
This is like beating up babies.
Classic. Shout out. We roll along.
We don't have the most reviews, but we have the best reviews.
You're fucking right, we do. You guys kill it every week. This one, Frank, please. This is from Helios. Frank, if you're reading this, you've been in a coma for 6 months. This is GC. Please wake up.
Oh, man.
The
That's rough.
The best part is Frank does that to other people. He has talked about trying to like do that to like wake them out of reality, and now this person has done this to
That one got me to legitimately laugh out loud when I saw it this morning. That was so good. If you want to leave us a review, you want to rate, you want to review, you want to subscribe, you're going to do all that. Podcast feeds, Spotify, and Apple. Frankie's going to throw the links to those in the chat that I just told him to do. You know, I just volunteered him for that. I meant to debrief before the show, but I just completely forgot to. I'm sorry, Frankie. But yeah, leave us a review. We'll read them off the top of the show until we hit that 100 mark on both Spotify and Apple. You know, we're trying to bump these feeds up, so we appreciate you guys listening. Appreciate the reviews. The other very important matter that we have to attend to. I said it at the top of the show. It's April 23rd.
Yeah.
April 23rd is no normal day around Uncrowned Studios.
Oh.
For those that know, they know. This is the 365-day mark, the 1-year anniversary of Tai Tuivasa, James Tahuna, Ariel Helwani, Tyson Pedro. You know the whole story.
Happy
You know the
anniversary.
drop. If you don't know the story, we have to bring it back. We got to bring back the clip. Here is Ariel Helwani asking Tai Tuivasa about how his very close friend James Tahuna did in his recent boxing match.
Hey, James looking good in the boxing ring.
James Tahuna?
Yeah, you saw him.
When did he fight?
He fought a few, maybe like 1 or 2 months ago. He had a big win, and then he called out Jake Paul.
James Tahuna?
Yes.
I don't think you're talking about the wrong person. Liz.
James Tahuna, boxing.
Immediately goes
What,
to Google.
am I tripping right now?
Yeah, you're tripping.
You're true.
No, it was James Tahuna. Am I crazy?
Yeah.
I think you're crazy. James Tahuna is like the first Aussie.
He tries to throw him the
Yes, I know
bomb.
who James Tahuna was. Guys, didn't James Tahuna have a
Now
boxing
he's
match?
like
in-
begging us.
Yes. And
This is the moment where Ty
like
kind of
losing
starts
my-
feeling bad for him.
Maybe,
like, oh, you
maybe
had a
I've lost
boxing
my
match?
mind.
What are you talking about, Tyson Pedro?
I'm talking about
The lighter click.
I told you I was right.
Bro, you're talking about Tyson Pedro.
You think you know everything? See, that's what happened.
Hey, I've been on the air for 3. By the way, the best part about this is you lighting up the joy while correcting me.
See,
So good.
Shout out to Ty.
Such a good clip. I was in the control room absolutely dying.
Here's the most important part that gets forgotten in this. Tyson Pedro is Tai Tuivasa's brother-in-law.
Yes.
So if anybody would know what like the context
Yeah,
of this
1000%.
situation and what's going on, it's Tai Tuivasa.
But Ariel didn't think he was talking about
No,
Tyson
no,
Pedro.
I
He
know.
thought he was about talking about James Tahuna. At this point, I am a newer fan of the sport. I did not know who James Tahuna was. So I was like, who the fuck is he talking about? And it actually happened like a few months later. He was talking to someone and he said James Tahuna instead of Tyson Pedro. It happened. It re-happened again, but it quickly got addressed. Of course, it wasn't. We had to do a debrief on the air with Ariel afterward. This is us pointing out the mistake that he made.
What was the boxer? I was fucking dying back
Shout out
here.
to the Bam Bam Buds merch.
That was very Davi Ramos-esque of you.
He said James Tahuna.
James Tahuna. He's like, James Tahuna fought. He's like, man, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, am I tripping? It's Tyson Pedro. As he's lighting up the joint, he's just oh man, I was dying back here, dude. I could not stop laughing. He's lighting up the joint. He's like, you talking about Tyson Pedro? I looked up James Tahuna. He's 44 years old and hasn't fought in 10 years.
You know what's so great about that scene? I feel like that's a scene that you have with your boys, but you are smoking like,
yes, literally. You just finished smoking a blunt with your boys, and it's just like, man, did you see the James Tahuna fight? And everyone's like, James Tahuna fucking fought? It's like, yeah, it's crazy. Then they're like, no, you beat Tyson Pedro.
oh my gosh, I'm sweating so much, golly.
I was legit dying back here. I was rolling.
One of my favorite moments in the show's history, the cut to us wearing the Bam Bam Buds merch. Shout out to Bam Bam Buds. Just an all-time moment that will forever be remembered in this program's history.
I feel like it is like the deepest lore we've got. I feel like this is the one that has like planted the most seeds.
If you know James Tahuna, like the joke, then you are a true fan for sure.
For sure.
It's the ultimate. It's so good. Actually, if you know the Davi Ramos reference, the Davi Ramos-esque that I say at the beginning is that Ariel constantly mistakes Adriano Martins with Davi Ramos. And he's like, yeah, Davi Ramos knocked out Islam Makhachev. It's like, nah, dude. It was Adriano Martins. He fought Davi Ramos and won. So yeah, just an absolute classic moment. But that does lead us in to a bit of news and notes. Tai Tuivasa, who was supposed to fight on UFC Perth next Saturday, unfortunately is without an opponent right now. Sean Sharaf had to pull out orbital broken nose, whatever it is. Sorry guys, I fractured my nose and won't be able to fight May 2nd. Going to get it fixed. Look forward to getting back in there soon. And it's a disappointment because Sean Sharaf is a very unproven heavyweight, a guy that I want to see Tai Tuivasa fight. That is the level that I want. If he's going to remain in the UFC with where he's at in his career, I want a guy that is going to be a winnable fight for him.
Okay, can I give a hot take? This would have been a perfect Josh Hokett fight.
Tai Tuivasa, Josh Hokett?
Yeah.
Hell no.
What do you mean hell no?
I can't have I was about to say James Toon. I can't have Tai Tuivasa getting done like that.
Done like that? I feel like that's a winnable fight. You don't think that's a winnable fight for Tai?
With Josh Hokett's gas tank? Dude, Tai Tuivasa has not won in 4 years.
Okay, but if Tai Tuivasa bombs on him, there's a chance that he takes Hokett out of there. I think that would have been a perfect fight.
Bro, Josh Hokett's got a pretty good chin and an insane gas tank at heavyweight.
I didn't think about the wrestling too. The wrestling of Hokett kind of would have unevened the scales.
February of 2022.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? You're right. I'm sorry. Let's get him a new opponent and let's get him a dub. Let's get Tai a dub.
So we talk about bombing, man. Like he hasn't knocked anyone out since that Derrick Lewis one.
He almost killed Cyril Gane. Like he was this close.
God, there is that ripple effect when he dropped Cyril Gane. He would have been
Tai
fighting
Tuivasa title shot. Yep.
Tai Tuivasa, John Jones at UFC 285. Yep. Imagine that punch lands just like a centimeter cleaner, or just like a touch harder, and he sparks.
That reality would have been the best one. Knocks out John Jones, heavyweight champ.
He was the number 3 heavyweight in the division at that point. Incredible. So hopefully Tai Tuivasa gets a new opponent.
You have to keep him on that card. Find a body.
Please.
Get a guy out of the fucking stands.
Go to Eternal MMA, find the sloppiest heavyweight you have, and get Tai Tuivasa a win. Please.
They just had the BKFC fights in Australia. Find somebody who won on that. Throw him in there.
Fuck it. Find someone who lost. Put him on there, man.
You're good.
I will always be a Tai Tuivasa fan, man. I don't want to see him continue to lose. Let's continue along with some news and notes. Petr Yan. honored with the Medal for Merit to the Fatherland by Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big fucking deal.
Huge deal for Jan, obviously. Just
Crazy
kind of-
optics to see him with
that's that-
Vladimir Putin.
crazy to see him standing next to Putin and getting awarded this medal, but obviously in the country, such an award of significance, well deserved by Piotr Jan. You know, it's rare that we see. You hear some of these fighters, and you hear about the relationship that they have with their country, or that like the celebration between the governments of the countries and the fighters, and it varies across the board, right? In the United States, like, you don't really see this type of celebration. There isn't like this kind of like recognition. You get it every once in a while, Donald Trump just being like, I love that Derek Lewis guy. But like, to get awarded like an actual like sportsman medal, then you hear some of these countries, like I know famously like during the pandemic, Israel Adesanya and Dan Hooker talking about like the New Zealand's government not taking care of them and not favoring them over the football players. They're all over the map. All these countries have different relationships with it. But to see an MMA fighter, especially one of Piotr Jan's caliber, be recognized in this way, regardless of what the view is on the current leadership, it's such a significant achievement and well deserved by him, earned by him.
Yeah, it's crazy to see. I'm not sure what the Medal for Merit to the Fatherland is. I would imagine it's just something, just sort of recognizing him in sport. But yeah, an incredible achievement for Piotr Jan. He got the belt back, and now he gets this honor from Vladimir Putin. Big deal for Piotr Jan. Another big deal, Jan Blachowicz, who's supposed to be fighting in a couple weeks against Bogdan Guskov in the long-awaited rematch after their draw, successfully had surgery. Took to Twitter, it says the surgery is done. Now it's time for rehabilitation, and I am back on the mat, baby.
You got to respect that from Jan, who is up there in age, and like this could have been an easy exit point, right? Like at a certain point, it's not like I'm not going out on a limb to say I don't expect Jan to compete for a title at this point in his career, but he has accomplished everything. There's not a lot left for him to do in this game. The fact that he still wants to do it, I find admirable and respect it. And he just went to a draw with Bogdan Guskov, who was a sizable favorite in that fight. And so, yeah, if he wants to keep doing it, if he wants to go through surgery, get back on, do the rehab, get back on the mend, and then get back in there at his age, like all I can do is tip the cap. Respect to a gangster. Like, shout out to Jan.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's 42 years old.
That is
still holding on to the number 4 ranking in the light heavyweight division. That's neither here nor there. He hasn't won in 4 years. He's on an 0-2-2 streak. But for him to continue to want to get out there,
he's 0-2-2
since 2022. Yeah,
there are 2 draws. Who was the other draw?
Ankalaev for the title.
Oh fuck, that's right.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I'm also mistaken. He's 43.
Yeah. As I said, the fact that he's like, look, if I was in that position, if any other mere mortal is in that position where you're 43 years old and you have a injury like his that's going to require surgery and then rehab like this, it's probably like, sayonara, thanks for the cheese, see you later. And he's just like, I'll be back. So respect.
43 is the number 4 ranked light heavyweight, and I know, like I mentioned, the 0-2-2 hasn't won since the Rakic fight, which ended in a leg injury, and then before that lost to Glover Teixeira. A draw to Ankalaev, who is the number 1 contender. A draw to Guskov, who
champ.
is up and coming. Ankalaev past champ. A split decision loss to Alex Pereira. Some people believe he won that fight.
Yep.
And a very close 29-28 with Carlos Ulberg.
Yeah, it's an odd path that he's kind of had lately. Respect. That's all I got. Respect to Jan, gangster. The fact that he's just like setback, but I'm coming back. Like, damn, built different. That dude.
Yeah, we await his return. I imagine Bogdan Guskov also awaits his return.
Nah, Bogdan will probably fight before then, right?
Maybe. It depends how long Jan is out for.
I'd have to expect that he probably stays active. I'd still like to see that fight again. I thought Guskov kind of let him off the hook and had a win kind of like there for him.
That third round.
The third round, though, great resilience by Jan. I'm in for that fight if they want to do it again, but I also wouldn't blame Guskov if he's just like, let me move on while Jan's healing up.
We got a very interesting tweet from John Nash in regards to the UFC antitrust lawsuit. He says, an update to the UFC antitrust case, spoliation issue. They found Dana White's missing phone. Apparently, Ari Emanuel's nephew did not steal it, shocker. Instead, they found it in the backseat of a car where, because it had a black case and was on a black leather seat, they just missed it. Not joking.
Yeah.
Wonder what they're going to find in that.
I know, but you buying that?
Oh, that it was just like, the black phone on the
The one
leather.
that got stolen. It was just on the fucking thing. It was just in the back seat. It was just
Ari Emanuel's nephew
Who's the
stole
check?
it.
Yeah, how about that? No, was it in his kid? He said a relative. I think it ended up being his kid.
Ari Emanuel's kid.
Yeah.
Who, me?
Yeah, and he's doing the NFL draft meme.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Though, what the fuck? Yeah, who knows what they're gonna find on that?
yeah, who knows? But wow, I can't believe they found it. That's crazy that they found that. It was just like, oh,
Just the black leather.
It was in the sea.
Just the black leather. Islam Makhachev took to Twitter with an interesting message. Phone emoji July.
Yeah, what is this?
2 belts. I mean, what's with the headroom on the picture? Like, why is there so much headspace?
The crop is rough.
Can we crop that thing down a little bit, Islam? What's the phone called?
It
July,
makes him look
question mark?
like a little person. It makes him look like a very small person.
Makes him look like a kid. Shout out to our the newest addition to the drop rotation. Yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean,
Okay, but-
right now it is rumored for International Fight Week to be Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor. Dana White recently saying that we're making it happen. Like, once it's done and signed, we'll announce it. But it's looking good for McGregor to fight.
Islam keeps talking about July. It's not the first time he's talked about July. Like, there was an interview a little while ago where he kept saying, like, he talked about wanting to come back in July. All signs are more pointing toward, and Dana White has said this in press conferences, Islam being the August, right? What is that? Philly, I think, was the August?
3:30.
That would make a lot more sense. Unless Islam is just banking on the idea of Conor McGregor not fighting, which, some people would say is probably a smart bet. It seems to me like all signs are pointing toward him coming back in July, and that is what the UFC wants to do and he wants to do. And as Ariel said yesterday, right? Ariel was actually talking about this yesterday. Conor McGregor is not the guy who misses his dates frequently. The last time was a unique and rare exception where he got hurt and pulled out of a fight. Conor McGregor is typically not a guy who misses his date. So if he and the UFC are aligned on July, I would expect him to fight. But maybe Islam is like, hey, I'm here just in case that July doesn't come to fruition. I'm here and ready.
And there has been in the past where they've done 2 pay-per-views in July where they do an early International Fight Week and then a late one. But that is not happening because we know International Fight Week is UFC 329 and they've announced Philadelphia in August will be UFC 330.
I don't think you add the rules are a little bit different now because there's no pay-per-view, right? Because now we're talking about just, the fight nights are on the same platform as the numbered events are on the same platform as the Apex shows. Like, it's not different materially for the UFC to do that, but I can't imagine that you drum up another July event on the heels of a Conor McGregor event rather than just pushing it to the next week. Islam has, trained and fought on the East Coast many times before. I think it would make sense to do an Islam fight in Philly. Doesn't make a ton of sense if it's Ian Gary. I don't know if there's like any additional
Doesn't change anything if it's Michael Morales or anything, though. It's,
Yeah,
it's just a
no.
massive fight, and you fill it with...
It's an Islam fight. You get an
you
Islam
fill it
fight.
with Philadelphia fighters on the back end. There's plenty. You could do a Joe Pfeiffer and a co-main or something like
Shit,
that.
that'd be pretty nice.
Yeah.
You could do that.
There's plenty of Philadelphia fighters.
Sean
Kyle-
Brady gets a win. Maybe
Tom Brady gets a win. Kyle Dawkins gets a win on the White House.
There you
fight
go.
Somehow. Beats
There you
Bo
go.
Nickel.
There you go. What do you mean somehow? He's live in that
Shout out
fight.
to KD. Shout out to KD. The real KD in the sporting world. At the end of the day, like, it could just be Islam chatting shit.
That's what it seems
Stir it
like.
up.
I don't know.
July?
I don't know. I don't know why he keeps talking about July.
I mean, we know in the fight game in MMA and boxing, every single tweet has always led to whatever it's referencing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Nothing is ever. We never look back on.
Sign the fucking contract, says man to man without contract.
We never look back on tweets and be like, "Wow, that really led to nothing, huh?"
No, never.
We never do that. Speaking of Islam Makhachev, who has ties to Ilia Topuria, definitely on Twitter, they're constantly chatting shit. The rumblings are happening, especially on this program, that forget Ilia Islam. We want to see Ilia Arman. The rivalry is starting to heat up, and you find yourself in that camp.
Oh, I've been in that camp. When everybody was going gaga over Ilia versus Islam, I was the lone dissenter who said that I want to see Arman or Patty versus Ilia much, much more.
Okay, I will say this. I still want to see Ilia Islam over Ilia Arman, but I think the likelihood of us seeing one of those is more than the other. I think it is more likely that we see Ilia versus Arman, especially within this year. If he beats Justin Gaethje, who else is there for him to fight? He's already beaten Charles Oliveira. Arman is your number one contender that doesn't have the interim belt. Like, he's number one behind Gaethje because Gaethje has interim. So if he beats Gaethje, then who else is there?
If you want my honest answer, Islam.
Yeah. I'm saying at 155, though.
There's nobody other than Arman at 155.
Yeah.
But my honest answer, who else is there, is Islam. And how about this? Let's come back to this. Let's show some of the beef and why, like, the idea of Arman is so appealing now, and then we'll come back to the idea of, like, who should he fight.
And then I will respond to it being crazy that I want to see pound for pound number one versus number two, guy go for triple championship status.
We'll dive into all that.
Both of them were on the Ariel Helwani show this week and had fiery things to say about one another. Let's start with Ilia talking about Arman, and he discusses why Arman is so dumb.
Since you last fought and he last fought, Arman has done a great job of getting himself out there through social media and wrestling matches. Have you been impressed with, because I feel like now he's a bigger star, which makes the fight even bigger.
I'm really impressed of how dumb he is.
Oh, tell me why.
He's a retard. I don't know. He looks like a kid. He's a kid. Like, his mentality, he's dumb as fuck. I don't know. Everything that I saw about him in the internet, it's embarrassing. Fuck Arman. Who cares about him?
Okay.
I don't care.
Do you feel like the fight is bigger now, though?
The thing that I don't like is, like, when they play that they rich and they show all that money, and it's like, bro, you don't even rich. You that poor that the only thing that you have is money, and you are spending your father's money, not even yours. So, you know what I mean. He's a fucking kid.
You're so rich that all you have, or you're so poor is all you have is money. Ilia was dropping some bangers on the interviews.
Yeah, some bars.
So he's essentially just coming after the fact that he thinks that Arman's lifestyle is dumb, spending all this money, flaunting the money and everything like that, and not just going about his business.
Yeah, he's coming at, like, kind of the persona, the thing that Arman, Ariel's point was, Arman's done a great job making this fight a lot bigger than the last time we kind of talked about it. And I agree totally with Ariel. Ilia kind of poo-pooed it to basically be like, it's dumb shit, it's not useful, and he's faking it anyway. Like, he kind of just completely dismissed it, which, I gotta be honest, only makes me want to see it more.
Ilia then continued talking about Arman being a gangster or not.
You tweeted after his last fight, Arman, every time we see each other in person, you freeze up like a scared duck with no idea what to do. You know I handle you however I want. I fight whoever the UFC chooses. And remember, I slapped you and you just laughed. So can you tell us about this interaction? You posted a very quick clip, but what did you feel? What did you see from him when you saw each other?
So the day before of the video that I posted, he tweets something in Twitter, something like, if I see you the next time, I do this or that. Like, you know how they play they all gangsters. And when we cross the paths, they are like, oh, how are you? All good. They smile. They like humble, normal human beings. But in Twitter, everyone is a gangster. Everyone is like, oh, let's solve this in the street and all that. Bro, I'm a professional athlete. I'm not a street fighter. I'm not a gangster. You know what I mean?
And so you think this is all just kind of for show?
Yeah. I don't know if it's for show. I think it's because they are dumb as fuck.
The video that he is talking about in that interview, the quote unquote slap, is as follows. You make your own judgments on whether it was a slap. Let's see one more look at that.
Gently placed hand?
Gently placed hand on the neck. It is sort of like like he's got him, and then he does the friendly. Watch his right hand there. He does like the friendly, just like, what's up, brother? Like, how you doing, man? Like, this was no real slap. I will say they both look very friendly with each other, but like, he puts the hand on, like, it reminds me of like like a grandfather seeing you, and he hasn't seen you in a long time, and like he like gets the neck. Hey, how you doing? Like it was very soft tap.
Even that's a little bit of a sunning too, you know. Even that's a little bit like I'm the elder statesman.
I mean, Arman's got the big ass, groovy ass grin on his face. Like he does look like he's kind of getting sunned. Like Ilia kind of looks like the superstar there, but like he didn't go up and slap his ass and Arman not react.
It's like if you took like 60% of the intensity away from when Hamzat and Ian Gary ran into each other.
60?
90% of the intensity.
Are they going to use that for a promo video? Like, are you serious? Like, are they going to use that? No. I side with Arman on this one that is not a slap. Like,
yeah, Arman was joking about that with Ariel.
Bro, someone did that in passing to me. I don't really care who they are. I would just kind of laugh it off.
Yeah.
Like, even if I was just like, what the fuck was that? Like, but like, this was no threat or anything presented by Ilia. Arman, in reaction to those videos, had some harsh words for Ilia. Take a listen.
I'm not a gangster, I'm the man. But he is not. He shaves his ass. He shaves his arms, legs. At least I'm a man. I don't do that.
How do you know that he does that?
I mean, if you see his videos, he has no hair on his legs. You think he's gonna have a hair on his ass?
I don't know. I never thought of that, to be honest.
Yeah, he should go to Georgia instead of Miami. He had bad experience in Miami. He should go to Georgia and stay there and walk around with good men, you know. In Georgia is different level men's. Yeah.
Golly.
Mirab doesn't shave his ass, so.
I mean, you never know. This fight has to happen. I'm sorry.
We leave that for girls, you know. For girls it's good. For men, I don't know.
A subtle jab there by Arman. He should leave Miami. He had a bad time in Miami. That's certainly a subtle jab. But
no, this is not my fault.
The shaves ass thing is so good. Like going directly from Ilia being like, he's not a gangster, straight to Arman being like, I'm not a gangster. I am a man. He is not. He shaves his ass. Like so deadpan and so dry.
I had the same reaction. I think we all back, you know, in the control room when he said that, all thought to ourselves, how do you know that? And Ariel then asked the exact follow up you're supposed to ask, which is how do you know that?
And I love how he's just like he needs to go to Georgia and hang out with some guys that don't shave their ass.
Good men.
You're a good man if you don't shave your ass.
How does he know this? I don't buy the. I'll tell you this.
There was an edit there. He goes, "How do you know that he doesn't shave his ass?" And he's just like. And it just cut to the next thing.
I don't know if I buy the logic of if you shave your legs, you must shave your ass. But I'm just interested in the idea of, I mean, at the end of the day, all this is Arman questioning the masculinity of Ilia Topuria, saying like you're a softer man, right? Like in Georgia, where you go back to, they're not doing that. I know Merab isn't doing that, and so he's questioning the masculinity of Ilia, which they don't like each other very clearly, even though like. You know, that's a little bit goofy on the Arman side, and even the way Ilia is just like he's a dumbass. Like, they just don't like each other, and it makes me care more.
To the point where like you can kind of see Ilia, dude who doesn't really get that heated. Like you can see him getting a little bit riled up when Ariel is asking him about it. He's just fucking dumb, dude. He's just a fucking kid. Like
the difference between when he just is like Paddy Pimblett sucks, he will have to die and be reborn to ever have skills, and like not agitated at all, just like coldly delivering that, or the way he's just like. I don't know if Islam ran, but I'm going to go up and I'm going to submit him. There's a big difference in terms of like the emotional intensity, the way he talks about some of these things, and then the way he's like, this is a dumbass, he's a fake gangster, it's different.
Later in the interview, Ariel's asking about the beef between Arman and Merab. They had a little run-in at RAF, and he's just like, no, I'm cool with Merab. I'm cool with Merab. He doesn't shave his ass. I know he doesn't shave his ass. You need to stop hanging out with people who shave their ass. We don't need to get into it. I was going to say, who needs ass hair?
Why are you admitting? Are you trying to reveal something?
These comments led to some great social media posts. The breaking news graphic that dropped from the MMA Alien, all timer for Ilia Topuria. There it is. shaves ass. with him doing the salute.
Just the fact that it's just like everything has a graphic now. Every
so
single
good.
thing, and it's like the most ridiculous. And first of all, obviously, like we have no confirmation of this. To make it very serious for a second, we have no confirmation of this, and it's just a picture of Ilia with shaves ass up.
Shout out to the MMA alien. I saved that graphic at the very second I saw it. I don't know when it'll ever come in handy, but one day
I don't know when they'll ever.
It will come in handy. And then Arman actually shared a post onto his Instagram story. It appears to be AI, though I can't confirm that. It says, "Ilia, brother, what are you doing?" And it's him shaving his legs. I was kind of hoping it would be him shaving his ass.
Well, if you shave your legs and your arms, according to him, then your ass is shaved.
I guess, yeah, if you are doing the arms and the legs. What do you know about shaving asses, Frank?
I'm just saying, maybe you have shaven an ass or two.
Mom?
Shaven?
Yep. Shaven and kissed.
Oof.
Oh, Jesus
Not at the same
Christ.
time, you guys. You're so weird.
We're weird. We're weird.
Okay, that I
families.
feel like that picture is going to come in handy, actually, now that Frank has revealed this about himself. I feel like that picture
Sometimes I can't believe that this is our job. So we get to talk about a Spanish, Georgian dude and an Armenian guy arguing about who shaves their ass or not.
Yeah.
And Pyotr Jan's getting medals from Vladimir Putin and everything
They're
that just
finding
goes on.
cell phones in the back seat.
Yeah, we're finding cell phones in the back seat. And hi to Ivasa, James Tahuna. It's a ridiculous world we operate in. What a life! You're not kidding. What a life! So that leads to, with this beef brewing, with this hostility that you can tell there is between these two. This is the fight for you. Number one in the entire UFC.
I don't believe this to be controversial, but I believe there will be many who will probably push back against this. I do not believe that Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria will be a competitive fight. And I say that with the utmost respect for Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria is doing things. Maybe let me start here. Ilia Topuria is exactly what he says he is. And this is the thing that was so special about Conor McGregor before him was Conor McGregor would tell you all these things that he is. He'd tell you everything under the sun. And he would go to the cage and he would prove it every single time. There was not a time that he didn't, in that era, in that 20, whatever he debuted, 11, whatever it is, to 16 range. There was not a time that he told you, I'm going to do this thing, and then didn't show up and do it. He proved it every single time. And it felt special because we've never seen anybody be this cocky, this braggadocious, this have these lofty expectations and then continue to knock it down, and sometimes exceed it. The way he dispatched Jose Aldo, the way he did Eddie Alvarez, we had not seen something like that. Ilia Topuria is of that ilk. Ilia Topuria is a guy who tells you exactly what he's going to do and then somehow finds a way to make it look even easier. The way he knocked out Max and Volk is something that nobody else can do. People don't do that to those guys in that way. And he made it look phenomenally easy. The way he knocked out Charles Oliveira. Like, people just don't do these things to these guys. I have the utmost respect for him. I believe in him. I think he is one of the best fighters on the planet, the number 2 pound for pound. But the number 1 pound for pound fighter, in my mind, it is so much bigger and is well-rounded enough to deal with the threats that he poses that it becomes a big man, little man situation for me. And I just don't think that Ilia Topuria is big enough to fuck with Islam Makhachev. And so that really detracts from the fight for me. The stakes, the pomp, the circumstance, no doubt significant, no doubt a massive fight. We have argued with Ariel that I think that's far and away the number 1 fight that they can make right now.
Size.
Other than Conor McGregor.
Draw. Reach.
In terms of
everything like that that's going to give
eyeballs.
viewership.
But the fight itself, I do not believe to be a competitive fight.
What you are saying right now makes me want to see it that much more. We are writing the script to something that has not been written yet. We just don't know. Everything you're saying about Ilia Topuria, he does exactly what he says he's going to do. Right now, he's saying when him and Islam fight, he's going to submit Islam Makhachev.
Yeah.
I know you don't believe him. A lot of people didn't believe he would knock out Volk. A lot of people didn't believe he would knock out Max Holloway. Remember, he walked around the Max Holloway fight, a man who had never been dropped before, and he was like, "Yep, gonna KO him." He did exactly that.
He did get dropped by Gaethje.
Yeah, got brought to a knee. Either way, he didn't get knocked out.
Yeah.
And he
No, definitely not
colded
that.
Max in that
Yeah.
fight. He goes up to 155. He absolutely starches Oliveira in horrifying fashion.
Destroy.
And now Oliveira has bounced back to beat Gamrot and Max Holloway since that fight. So it's not like Charles Oliveira is completely washed.
All those Volk came back and became champ again. Like after, like these guys weren't like done.
He's done incredible things, done exactly what he said he's going to do. If he went up, I'm just saying, if he went up for a third title against the pound-for-pound number one in Islam Makhachev and was able to defeat him, the scenes would be out of this world. We would have a new mega star that breaks through to every corner of the sporting world, not just our combat sports. Like the opportunity of being able to have that, in addition, parlayed with just the size and the magnitude of the fight, the pound for pound number one versus pound for pound number two of the biggest, if not your two biggest stars in the sport today, means that I want to see that fight more. If you're just going to book them against each other, like I actually think the more that I think about it, it is ridiculous to say that Arman versus Ilia would be a bigger fight in terms of viewership.
No way.
Islam is a huge star for this sport and just everything you could write around it, because we're talking about the hostility between Arman and Ilia. There's also hostility between Islam and Ilia. Every time I get on Twitter, there's a new tweet talking shit to each other.
Yeah. Agree with everything you're saying. And Ilia, to this point, I could keep comparing him to Conor because I think for the first time ever, it finally actually applies. For the first time ever, there's been the new Conor's been a trope forever. It's been a thing that people trot out. Paddy Pimblett was the next Conor. Everybody's been the next Conor. I truly believe actually Ilia Topuria is the one following the path the closest, right? The way he is dominating these guys, the way he is knocking out these guys, combined with the fact that as soon as he went up to the next division to lightweight, got a title opportunity and absolutely obliterated a guy that we now know is still very good in Charles Oliveira. You said it, like bounced back and just completely dominated. He is very good, and that is the closest comparison to Conor we've ever seen. Not in the draw. This is a different era, not in the attention, not in the worldwide stardom. If only for the simple fact that we have seen Conor do this previously. If Conor hadn't done this, I think Ilia would be regarded much more highly. Their minds would be melting from the things that this guy is doing. He's the closest comparison. If he were to go up, and if he were to challenge for Islam Makhachev's belt and beat him, that's where the paths diverge. That's where finally you're not following the Conor path anymore, and now you're on your own path. Now you're on a separate path of a third title, right? You're on a separate, and he mentioned to Ariel, even if he were to win that title, he is not a 170-pound guy. He is going to come back down to lightweight and potentially fight whoever the next challenger is there. He does not intend to be a welterweight, even if he goes up and fights Islam Makhachev. But to have that third title and then be carving new territory, be creating a new history, different than Conor McGregor, right? This is the point right now for Ilia Topuria, if we're making the comparison to Conor, where Conor went to fight Floyd, where you get the biggest opportunity, but it's in boxing and it's not in MMA. This is the point where Ilia Topuria can get his biggest opportunity, and it's inside the octagon against Islam Makhachev, and it's for a third title. It would be monumental.
History we've never seen.
We've never seen it. My problem is that I don't believe it's possible.
But we just don't know. We don't know shit. This is a sport that constantly surprises us. No, you don't. You don't know.
I know.
You do not know.
I know, and what's crazy about it is I just spent the 5 minutes before this being like, Ilia Topuria does things that are not possible, and he makes the impossible possible, and that's what is Ilia Topuria's story, and I still don't believe it.
Here's another argument that I will make.
Yeah.
Why not just go for greatness? Say he goes up there and he gets it. I understand, like, people will be like, oh, well, then he'll lose the O and the aura and everything like this. I disagree with that. Israel Adesanya was undefeated when he went up to fight Jan Blachowicz, lost that fight, was just not big enough, got wrestled and lost and got his first L on his resume, and then goes back down to 185. Racks up several more title defenses, has iconic moments, the rivalry with Alex Pereira, the knockout in Miami, everything like that. We don't need to speak about the recent run he's been on, but like was able to sustain his career for another 3 years after that. Ilia Topuria, if he loses to Islam Makhachev, could easily come back down to 155 and still have massive fights and build a massive legacy at this division.
Here's where I would divert from other people that might be making that. I don't have a problem with it. If Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria is the next fight for both, like let's assume that Islam fights in August. If after that and after Ilia Topuria fights at the White House, their next fight is against each other, I don't have an issue with it. I have no problem with it. I would much prefer Arman Tsarukyan because of what I've laid out, and I'll talk about the Arman fight, why I love the Arman versus Ilia fight. On its own separately. I don't have an issue with the fight. If everybody wants that fight, including the two men involved, including the UFC and the fans, I've got no objections to it. I'm not putting my foot down and saying this is a travesty, this cannot happen. I'm totally in support of it. I just have a preference and do believe I know how that fight goes, where I have a preference to see Ilia fight elsewhere. But I'm totally okay with it. There will be people, though, that will say, don't do it, it's stupid, all those things. I'm not in that camp.
Insane take. I actually think it's an insane take to write the future, and that's why you don't want to see it. Arman Ilia. Tell me why that.
Because I believe Arman will beat Ilia Topuria as well. I think that is the toughest challenge that Ilia will have at 55. I believe Islam is a tougher challenge because I believe Islam is better than Ilia. I believe if Ilia and Islam had fought on that date in January, that Islam would have been the one to win. But I believe Arman Tsarukyan is a top 10 pound for pound guy. I have him ranked currently number 10. I believe he might be higher than that because I do believe that if they were to match up, I would favor him in a fight with Ilia Topuria. Again, I might be a victim of the fact that I continue to doubt Ilia Topuria, who again has proven to do the impossible. Stylistically, I believe this is a bad matchup for Ilia Topuria. Now, I can't lie. My confidence was shaken a little bit when he was talking to Ariel, and he's like, what's he going to do? Fucking take me down? He's going to take me down? And he laughed it off.
Calm down.
The idea was stupid. The idea was...
He literally said, calm down. Calm down, man. He's not going to do shit.
His confidence has to shake even the most confident fighter. If you're watching that and you're Arman Tsarukyan, there's a part of you that has to be like, fuck, this guy is otherworldly with his confidence.
Okay, here's what I will say. If Ilia Topuria gets through Justin Gaethje,
yes,
his next fight,
which we assume will happen, right?
He's a monster favorite.
Yeah.
Let's just say that the favorite rolls and he's able to get the victory there. Ilia Topuria's next fight has to be either Arman Tsarukyan or Islam Makhachev.
Yes,
it has to be.
There was a world where Patty had an inside track to this.
Not anymore. That's gone.
I don't want to see that as much anymore.
No, it's gone.
I'm down for it, but
there's no need. There's no need. He lost to Justin Gaethje, and if Ilia goes out there and sparks Justin Gaethje, we don't need to see it. You have the rightful number one contender in Arman Tsarukyan, or you have the option up at 170 against Islam Makhachev. I actually like the Arman fight if that's what's next. If he stays down at 155 and he fights Arman, for many reasons, because I do think it's a pretty closely lined fight. It will be the best challenge at 155 for Ilia Topuria. But also, I talked about star power, everything like this. If he goes up and he fights Islam Makhachev, Arman Tsarukyan will have an opportunity to parlay this social media stardom that he has found, this nuclear explosion that he's gotten with people being obsessed with the food videos and the RAF and him always making these viral moments, everything that he's doing online, to the point where I have friends that don't watch combat sports at all that are tuning into RAF to watch Arman Tsarukyan because of his social media presence. He has the chance to parlay that into handing Ilia Topuria his first loss of his career and becoming the lightweight champion of the world.
Yeah. It's a massive potential opportunity for Arman. It's all there for him, right? It seems like it's almost inevitable at this point. The only thing stopping him is the booking, right? Is the timing of this all. He kind of got in the doghouse. Seems like he's kind of slowly creeping his way out. Dana seems a little more amenable to Arman and this, while still acknowledging sometimes he does some things that are head scratchers, like throwing himself and Uriah Faber off a mat most recently. It's a huge opportunity for Arman. It's a huge opportunity for Ilia because, like Conor McGregor did, it silences a lot of people. If he can put a stamp on that, if he can put Arman Tsarukyan away, there's really no world where if Ilia Topuria fights Arman Tsarukyan next and beats him, I would have to fundamentally change my argument. I would have to fundamentally change my stance that I don't think he has a chance against Islam Makhachev. I currently believe that. But if he is to beat Arman Tsarukyan, I would have to change that. I would have to acknowledge that there's a world where that reality can exist. And so, to me, it's neither of these options is a bad option, but the one that I prefer is Arman. A, because I believe there's more bad blood. I don't believe he has bad blood with Islam Makhachev. I think that's more a function of like the management teams going back and forth and the negotiations and all the like behind the scenes bureaucratic bullshit, the drama that goes into the business side of it. Not because I don't think those two like or respect each other. I imagine there's a lot of respect between those two. I do think there's maybe a little more friction, a little less respect in terms of the Arman Tsarukyan and Ilia Topuria matchup. And I do think this is going to be a very tough test for Ilia Topuria at lightweight, which I believe, Ilia Topuria said it himself, I believe that is his division. Going up to 170 is not his division, not his best opportunity. And so I don't love that fight. I love Arman Tsarukyan versus Ilia Topuria. I think it's perfect. I think it's absolutely perfect.
We have lines on each of these.
Okay.
Arman Tsarukyan versus Ilia Topuria.
I feel like it's got to be close to a coin flip. I like Ilia Topuria minus 135.
Ilia Topuria minus 190. Tsarukyan plus 165.
Yeah, that feels high. I got to be honest.
Islam versus Ilia.
Islam minus 325.
Minus 235.
Okay.
Topuria plus 200.
To me, that makes sense to me, but the gap between those two lines feels not accurate to me. Islam Makhachev is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, a weight class up, and a guy who has beaten Arman Tsarukyan. If those are only, 30, what was the difference in points there?
234 to minus 190 would be like, yeah,
that's 45.
Like 415 point difference.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like 40 minus 45 on the line is the only difference between those two lines. You can't.
I know, but Islam is the favorite.
Yeah.
And Ilia is the favorite in the other
yes,
one.
right. Ilia was the favorite,
so
not Arman.
Massive swing.
Yeah,
massive
so
swing.
actually a massive swing. So, okay, that actually makes sense then.
But the argument I'd make, man, we've seen a guy from a lower weight class go up against the pound-for-pound #1 and take him on. And Alexander Volkanovski had a lot of success in that first fight.
He had some success. Again, though, that was
48-47. Some people that scored it for him.
Yeah, I think that fight was scored correctly. I do think there might be people who say that. I'm not one of them.
I know, but it was scored 48-47 on the judges' score.
There are many people who even had Alexander Volkanovski still remain #1 pound for pound, Ariel himself included, who had Alexander Volkanovski remain #1 pound for pound after that first fight with Islam. There's a big difference here. And that big difference is that Islam Makhachev is not cutting to 155 pounds, which is a massive factor in that fight. And there's another big difference, which is Ilia Topuria is not fighting at 155 pounds. He is having to put on weight and go up to 170 pounds. This changes that fight significantly and why I'm not so interested in it. It is a massive difference in terms of the preparation that Ilia Topuria is going to have to do to put on weight, put on muscle, fundamentally change his game. And for Islam Makhachev, it's at a weight where he is much more natural, much more comfortable, does not have to cut so much weight.
As a betting man, I just have to say, we never know what's going to happen. But what I do want, no matter what, if Ilia Topuria gets through Justin Gaethje, it's got to be Arman or
it has to be
Islam
one of those
next.
two. It has to be one of those two. And though either of those two is massive for Ilia Topuria.
Love it.
This Justin Gaethje fight does not feel massive to me.
No, not at
all. The White
Even
House aspect, massive.
White House main event, huge. But
the fight, this is a nothing. This is a nothing for Ilia Topuria. That title, the title that Justin Gaethje is carrying around means absolutely nothing. It was a Mickey Mouse belt created for the first event that was on Paramount.
1,000%, but
it's nothing.
There is an argument to be made. There's going to be so many eyes on this. If it goes how we think it's going to go, it's going to set up for a highlight reel for Ilia Topuria.
Yeah, if Ilia Topuria can do what he's been doing lately to a guy who looked good but not great in a fight against Paddy Pimblett, right? I was picking him. I thought Justin Gaethje was going to win that fight. He ends up winning that fight. But it was a bit of a sloppy affair, right? It wasn't exactly the most clean technical performance against a guy in Paddy who has not fought to that level to this point. If Ilia Topuria remains at the form he has remained at, if the guy who showed up against Charles Oliveira shows up against Justin Gaethje is in significant trouble.
We will see. June 14th. It's just about 6 or 7 weeks away at this point.
So if you have your choice, though, you would want to see Ilia Islam first.
1,000%.
Yeah, I'm still Ilia Arman.
All right. Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll.
If we get both, we're in fucking heaven.
Woo.
If Ilia Topuria can deliver both those, we're in heaven.
What I do know, and imagine if he wins both. Jesus Christ.
If he wins both, we're the roof comes off what his potential is.
Yeah,
he could go up and
hard to
fight
imagine.
fucking Alex Pereira at that point.
It'd be hard to imagine. We don't know if either of those fights are going to happen. What we do know is that Aljamain Sterling is taking on Yusuf Zalal in the main event at UFC Apex 116 this weekend. And we got to start. Aljamain Sterling getting in a bit of hot water at the presser. He likes to rep the Funk Harbor rum. UFC says no chance. You ain't putting that up there. They say, be gone with it, bro. If that ain't Monster Energy or Howler Head, get it out of there. We got the normal funk. We got the reposado. He responded to, he says, the weird part is that I did it for my fight in Shanghai. I did it for my fight with Calvin Kattar. If I remember correctly, I also did it with Movsar and O'Malley. It was really odd, but I love Nabi and didn't want to give her a hard time. So, yeah, they said no.
Notice how she came up there, open hands, like she's like, I could take these bottles.
I actually think she literally says, I need these from my desk or something like that. I think she's just trying to keep it lighthearted. The UFC may say no to Funk Harbor on the desk. We certainly do not. That's going to be front and center.
That bottle's looking a little empty, huh?
Sure is. We need some more, Funk Master. We definitely
Who's
need
to
some
check?
More.
Shout out to the Funk Master.
You all right, Frank?
You all right, Frank?
Yeah, why?
Oh, he didn't answer, so I wasn't sure if he was okay.
Oh, I thought he'd been simping on the Funk Harbor.
Yeah, that's what that was. Wow.
Oh, you're feeling good. Signed by Funk? I didn't even realize that it was signed by Aljo. Shut up.
Are you all right, Rick?
I'm
He's
good.
been drinking the Funk Harbor.
I've been on that Funk.
The Jackman flu is finally taking the last few breaks.
Jackman flu.
Here's the
I
you.
couldn't feel better. Shout out Ric Flair.
Here's the
Woo!
This has taken off a little bit. Much about ado about nothing, in my opinion. Like,
sponsor obligations, you can't have it all.
Yeah, the UFC. Look, the UFC is not an environment anymore where, in their space, right, at their press conferences, in their cage, and this and that, are the opportunity for the fighters to like get their sponsorships and partnerships and plugs off. That's just the reality. Like, Aljamain could get on that mic and say, like, shout out Funk Harbor in stores now. Like, nobody's going to cut his mic. Nobody's going to take that away. But the putting on the desk, like, that's kind of reserved for the partners. The fact that he was able to do it to this point, I'm not sure, why something would have changed. And, as he said, like, Nabi, is just doing her job. She's UFC PR. That's not, like, up to her.
Still sucks to say.
It sucks because it's like, but we
know
hope for
why.
We hope for the fighters to be able to do this type of thing. I'm sure there's an explanation. Maybe Aljamain has talked to them and we'll know more about it at some point. But either way, like, look, that's the UFC's real estate. To be fair, Steph Curry ain't able to walk up with like some other drink and put it in front of the Gatorade and do something different at an NBA press conference either. So, this is just kind of the rules of the road. The fact that he had been able to do it previously and didn't for this one, that's kind of like the story here. Like, what changed? Is he going to be able to do it again? Hopefully he'll find out. Hopefully we'll find out. But a little bit of much ado about nothing.
Main event, absolute banger. He's taking on Yusuf Zalal. He's the number 5 featherweight right now. He's a former champion, taking on Yusuf Zalal, number 7. Has returned to the UFC after losing 3 straight and then a draw with Damon Blackshear. Since his return, he is 5-0. 4 of those wins coming by submission. He's only 29 years old. He's only continuing to improve. 8 straight wins overall. Like, 2 dudes that Zalal is on a heater. Sterling has had an incredible career and has had success at featherweight. Almost beat Movsar Evloev in that fight. A very close fight. Was very close to being 3-0 at featherweight, but how good these guys are, how nasty they are on the mat. The stakes implied, Aljamain Sterling, like, he is 36 years old, and if he loses this, he's 2-2 at featherweight. You just don't know if you're going to get that title shot. You're sort of at the back of the line at that point. And then Yusuf Zalal, if he beats Aljamain Sterling, if he adds that scalp to the list, 6 in a row since returning to the UFC, it'll be him, Movsar, and John Silva.
Yeah.
In the title conversation.
For sure,
So either guy really needs to win this fight. Aljamain Sterling definitely doesn't need to lose it. The fight itself is going to be incredibly close. I keep going back and forth on who I think is going to win. I keep selling myself on either one. It's a perfect main event.
I have gone back and forth on who I think is going to win 10 times.
Legit.
And I'm going to go back and forth another 10 times before it happens.
And I mentioned Zalal has 4 of these 5 wins since returning have come by way of finish, but they're all submissions. And I just don't see Aljamain Sterling getting submitted by Yusuf Zalal here. And then I don't think either guy holds the prowess on the feet to knock either of the other ones out. I know Zalal has nasty knees. He's had success with those in the past. He can be fast. He can accumulate damage over the course of the rounds. But I see this going 5 rounds, and I see it being very close.
I think that's the odds-on favorite. If somebody's going to finish on the feet, I'd probably say Zalal. I'd probably pick him. As far as if he could sub Aljamain, in a straight grappling exchange and scenario, no. Like, that's just not happening. Aljo's too slick, too good. But could I see a world where it's like a club and sub, where it's like Yusuf maybe clips him coming in, and man, with the slickness that he put that submission on Josh Emmett, like, could I see a world where he's able to like clip Aljo in the scramble, find a way to get something? That's the only way I could kind of see that. In a straight, let's just wrestle scenario, like, you're probably not subbing Aljamain Sterling.
We see wrestling here.
That's a good question. I think Aljo will want to wrestle.
Zalal went like 0 for 8 on takedowns on Calvin Kattar. So if he's not able to get, like, is he gonna try to take Aljo down?
I don't think Yusuf's going to be the one trying to wrestle. I think Aljo will wrestle. If either of them is trying, it's going to be Aljamain Sterling. I think
that's a fascinating fight, man.
I think Aljo is going to do what Aljo does. Like, Aljo's style is very difficult to deal with because on the feet, he's pretty active with his hands and feet, right? He throws a decent amount of kicks. He throws hands. And he's somebody who's just giving you a lot to think about, right? He's making you think and move and avoid. He's not, as you said, he's not, a huge like power punching finisher, but he's somebody who's giving you enough on the feet that you're really not like able to settle into your game. And when you're in that moment and when you're unsettled, that's when he comes for the takedowns. And when he gets into that world, he's the human backpack, right? You're pretty much like gonna be there. There's not a lot of guys, Movsar Evloev may be excluded, who are able to prevent that from happening. Even the likes of Petr Yan are getting controlled by Aljamain Sterling in the grappling exchanges. And we saw what happened against Merab Dvalishvili, and everybody else. Petr Yan is an absolute savage. He does not get taken down. He does not get controlled. And in their second fight, Aljamain Sterling was able to do that to one of the best anti-grapplers in the entire sport. So when Aljo's in his world, like, he's hard to deal with. But he's not always in that. He's like a mixed phases guy. He's on the feet. He's pretty capable. He's striking. He's giving you a lot to think about. When you start thinking too much, that's when your feet cross. That's when he's got you on the ground, and then he's kind of controlling you. It's very difficult to deal with if you're Yusuf Zalal and anybody else. That said, I do think there's some speed, agility, explosiveness, youth advantages that Yusuf Zalal has, that if he wanted to implement a game plan where it was like, I'm going to really be in and out, circling, on my bike, trying to be the more busy striker, right?
That's what he did against Calvin Kattar.
And this is what I talked about.
He was a mile away from Calvin Kattar that entire fight.
This is what I talked about in some of the recent, like, one that really comes to mind was like Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. Dustin Poirier needed to be busier than Max Holloway, which is a nearly impossible task. But in order to sometimes beat the guy who's throwing more out there and mixing up more, you have to do that. You have to increase your activity. You have to increase your volume. You have to be the one that's being offensive. If Yusuf Zalal can turn the pace up just a little bit and be a little more active and really put that volume out there, I could see a world where he's actually a little bit faster, a little bit cleaner, a little bit more technical, and maybe wins that like on the outside, in and out striking battle, as you said, like you could kind of do to Calvin Kattar. Because the Calvin Kattar performance for Aljamain Sterling was much more grappling heavy, the typical like kind of like clinching, going for the legs type of performance that we see from Aljo. I think that's Yusuf Zalal's path to victory, and I think it's actually open. I don't think it's closed off. I think that's how he could win this fight and how I'd see him winning it.
This is just a fight that I'm just going to sit down and just watch.
It's like, so high level.
I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know if Aljo is going to commit to the wrestling. I know I saw him saying that he's going to go Gamrot on his ass, which would assume that he's just going to go in there and blast takedowns. Zalal, like I said earlier, he's nasty with the knees. Like, watch out for those knees up the middle if that's what you're going with. Zalal, I don't imagine he's going to go for takedowns. He loves that like trip takedown. We've seen him do it against Billy Q. He tried to do it against Kattar like 7 times. It was unsuccessful each time. I can't imagine he's going to do that to Aljo. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm with you. I think Zalal, like, he's a bit quicker. He's got a bit more pop. He always gets out of the way in the striking. And, the Cater wasn't a fan-friendly win. People were not hyped up after that one. It was the one that he went to decision. The other 4 have been nasty finishes, though. So, like, you just kind of have to deal with it.
And it was dominant.
Yeah. I mean, the last round got a little bit dicey, but, like, it felt like Cater was putting more damage on him. But, like, yeah, he was in and out, especially in those first 2 rounds. Yeah, it's just a fight that, like, I just don't know what's going to happen, like in terms of the game plan for both guys. So I don't know who's going to win it. I think the line is proper. Like at one point, Aljo was like a plus 150. I was like, I think that's off.
Crazy.
Now it's closed down to more like a minus 115, plus 105 type range. I think that's right. It's a coin flip to me. I think he goes all 5 rounds. I think he's probably close on the judges' scorecards. I think there's going to be some people complaining about the scorecards afterward. I could see it being difficult to score. It's just a great fight, dude. It's a great fight with stakes attached to it. You can't complain about it.
It's a fantastic fight. The only part that we haven't touched on yet, which I think needs to be touched on, is Aljamain Sterling has more miles, older, and Youssef Zalal is just has less damage done to him and is a younger man. Like, that is a reality of this fight game. There's going to be a point in time where Aljamain Sterling, and look, let's not beat around the bush or try and fool ourselves. This is the back 9 for Aljamain Sterling, right? His best years are behind him. Not to say, I'm not suggesting that Aljamain Sterling has like had this massive fall off or anything like that. Not at all. He's looked very good lately. I have no issue saying that I think Aljamain Sterling is still a very good fighter. In fact, I am slightly favoring Aljamain Sterling to win this fight at this moment. As I said, this is going to change 10 more times. But I'm slightly favoring Aljamain Sterling to win this fight. But there is going to be a point in time where the age, the miles, and all those things accumulate, and he's just going to be dulled. He's just going to be a little bit sharp, a little bit less sharp. 10%, 5% even is the margin. When this fight is this close, when this line is this close, if you lose 5%, you're in the hole now. And all of a sudden, a guy like Youssef Zalal is able to take advantage of that.
Well, Zalal is also young, 29. His room for improvement is much higher.
He's growing every fight.
You talk about a lot of miles. Aljamain Sterling's had a lot of miles against the best of the best, which Youssef Zalal has not had that experience yet. So yeah, it really is just like, is the experienced vet going to hold the advantage over the up-and-coming young guy who continues to rapidly improve? And we're going to get to find out Saturday. That's the best part.
I'm picking Aljamain, but with the slight, like, the 51-49 margin.
This morning I was on Zalal. I'm going to go Aljamain. This is a fight that I've seen some confident takes from people. I've seen
which side? Or both?
Both. I've seen Zalal's going to outclass him. Aljo's done. He's cooked. And then I've seen Aljamain Sterling's going to fucking wrestle him into oblivion.
I'm okay if you're heavy on Zalal. That's fine, right? I think Youssef is a fantastic fighter. I'm cool with that. But Aljo's cooked is a take I just don't understand.
Yeah, I think it's Twitter.
He hasn't looked that way.
Yeah, it's Twitter. I mean, people are going to get takes off. But yeah, I just don't know. I'm not feeling insanely confident in either direction. Let's go to the co-main event. Norman Dumont taking on Jocelyn Edwards. Talk about getting finishes. Jocelyn Edwards does just that. 4-fight win streak, 4 finishes across those. Now she gets number 3, Norman Dumont, who's on a 6-fight win streak herself. Massive opportunity for Jocelyn to move into the top 5, move into the top 3 of the division. Norman Dumont, if she wins, she beats the number 11 ranked girl, and she's still right where she is behind Amanda Nunes to get the next title shot.
These just feel like filler fights for Norma, right? Like, she's just kind of biding her time until she can get that title shot.
Payday.
It's unfortunate. She's not like they will never scrap their plans to give Norma Dumont a title shot. This fight will be rebooked 10 more times if needed before she gets that title shot. That is just what this is. I'm sure she understands that. She will have to accept that. But this is the fight that Norma Dumont needs to win. If she wants to remain where she is, if she wants to be the one that when Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes have finished their business and maybe Harrison sticks around for one more or Harrison gives up the belt, if you want to be in that conversation, if you want to be that one to claim the title, you have to beat Jocelyn Edwards here.
If Jocelyn Edwards can get a 5th straight finish,
she probably becomes that one.
Fucking impressive shit. Shout out to Jocelyn Edwards, man. We saw her training at Extreme Couture that one day and we were like, hell yeah. Looks like she's got some punch on those pops.
She has looked great lately. But not for nothing, like, Norma Dumont's been putting away names. Like, she a win over Ketlin Vieira, a win over Irene Aldana, a win over
She carved her face up like a jack-o'-lantern. Don't forget that.
100%. And a win over Jermaine Durandamy, Chelsea Chandler, Carol Hossa. This is where it starts to go down. But, like, the best...
You can only beat so many people at women's basketball.
That's the thing. The best available fights at 135, she has been doing that. And so I think she will win this fight. But, like, there's almost nothing for her to gain and a lot for her to lose.
1,000%.
But at the same time, winning and keeping that spot is a win in and of itself, is something to gain in and of itself, because they're going to be looking around. If Amanda Nunes and Kayla Harrison finish their business and whoever wins that rides off into the sunset, you want to be in the Norma Dumont spot. You want to be the one that they look to and go, you're the guaranteed half of this title fight. And so the gain is maintaining that position.
Rafa Garcia taking on El Gran Chango, Alexander Hernandez, who is back. This is his first time since the dicey Michael Johnson line movement fight cancellation.
So we never talked about this, but I was curious. Did you see him speak about this at Media Day?
No, I didn't actually.
So he basically said, like, there needs to be more protections in place because, like, this was all bullshit.
Shit.
He kind of, like, went into the idea of, like, I had nothing to hide. I did nothing wrong. Why is this the process? Why is this what's happening?
I cut weight. He made 155.
Which is super interesting, right? Because now we've seen Michael Johnson come back and fight, and there were no, like, reservations, repercussions. There was no, like, red tape around Michael Johnson. And now we're seeing Alexander Hernandez come up back and fight. And there's no, like, hey, he can't fight. Like, there's no shadiness. There's no anything around this. So now we have to, like, ask the question of, what happened, right? What was the result of this investigation? Is this an example? I would assume that the answer is we investigated it, there was no foul play, and now they're both back fighting. But I'd like to hear that from somebody, right? I'd like to hear somebody say, like, they're both fighting because we found nothing. That would help to go a long way toward, if I'm Alexander Hernandez or Michael Johnson, being like, why the fuck was my fight canceled? Why is everybody now looking at, like, if you're Alexander Hernandez and Michael Johnson comes back first and then everybody goes, oh, well, fuck, Alexander Hernandez is a cheater. This is the thing that happened. He's fixing fights. I'd like somebody to come out and be like, no, we investigated this. Nothing happened. Alexander Hernandez did nothing wrong. Like, he's going to be able to fight. I'd like to hear that. I'd understand frustrations. We haven't gotten that, but
I don't think we're going to get it either.
I guess not. I'm happy to see Alexander Hernandez back. I'm happy to see that there was no fallout from that, and that there was no foul play involved. I'm assuming, I don't know, I'm assuming because of the fact that he's back.
Yeah.
And so it sucks, but, you know, back on track, I guess, and hopefully, you know, he can keep the train rolling.
Yeah, 4-fight win streak. I mean, it would have been nice to get Michael Johnson on his resume, no matter how old Michael Johnson is at this point. Rafa Garcia, though, a sneaky 4-1 in his last 5. Like, it's a good fight. Like, it's a solid fight.
This feels to me, though, like another fight that Alexander Hernandez, this version of Alexander Hernandez, the one who has looked great lately, is going to win, right? As you said, like a little bit of a sneaky last couple of performances for Rafa Garcia, but Alexander Hernandez should be the better fighter in this fight, and so I expect him to win.
-110 each way on the odds.
Yeah, I think Alex takes this one.
Dangerous Davy Grant.
Shout out Davy Grant.
Ripe age of 40 is back against Adrian Luna Martinetti. One half of the fight of the century on Dana White Contender Series. We saw Mark.
You say that with a tinge of sarcasm, I feel like.
Look, man, it was a fantastic fight. Like, don't get me wrong, but I'm pulling it up right now. Dana White Contender Series.
Yeah.
Fight of the year. But
Vologden.
UFC posted it on their YouTube, and the title is, all caps, the greatest fight of all time. The greatest fight of all time. And if you were on Twitter during Dana White Contender Series last year and the day after, every single person coined it the greatest fight to ever take place in the history of combat sports. I do not argue that it was an unreal fight.
It was unreal.
It was one of the best fights of the year.
Yeah.
Sorry, who had it as fight of the year?
It might have been me. No. Did I have it?
No, you didn't have it. No one had it as their fight of the year.
Oh, I had it.
I didn't see any major awards giving it
Fair enough.
as their fight of the year, Eric. But according to the UFC and everyone the day after, it was the greatest fight to ever take place in the history of combat sports. That's why I have the tinge of sarcasm. I think we just got a little bit in front of our skis. It was an unbelievable fight. Greatest Dana White Contender Series fight.
Is this our best example of a lack of attention span, immediate gratification?
Oh, yeah.
Everything is the greatest of all time as soon as we see it type thing?
It was the greatest fight we've ever seen, and then we get to the awards.
By the way,
shows.
like not a lot of people saw it either because it was on Dana White's Contender Series, and like not everybody watches that.
2 million views on the.
No, it's not bad on YouTube. I mean, when you put the caption or the thumbnail as greatest fight of all time, like, you're gonna get some.
I think a little bit of that had to do with it was that it was on Dana White Contender Series.
It was like the low key banger. Everybody was like,
it was like the low key sneaky. You really know it if you know Mark Vologden versus Adrian Luna Martinetti. Like one of the top comments is UFC moderator goated for boasting one of their fights. I don't need to do this.
It was a great fight. It was a great fight.
It was a fantastic fight. Mark Vologden ended up in a draw against John Castaneda last week. Now we get Adrian Luna Martinetti. Honestly, you should have just had him debut in the UFC against each other.
Fuck, that would have been sick.
This, though, Davey Grant versus ALM has all the makings of being a banger as well. Davey Grant comes to scrap. You have to imagine after watching him on Dana White Contender Series, so does Adrian. And like it just feels like it could be a banger.
Davey Grant doesn't do boring bad fights. Like that is just the antithesis of him. He is the guy who comes in there, plays spoiler, brings the fight to the guys who are supposed to bring the fight to him. He's just an absolute legend. He's had some funny stories on this very show. The performance by Adrian was very impressive to me. Like I walked away beyond just being like, holy shit, what an incredible fight. I walked away impressed with the skill set of both of those guys in a major way. And so I slightly favor Adrian, but would it shock me if Davey Grant does what Davey Grant does every single time, which is like, this is the fight where he's supposed to be beaten and he just upsets them and has a great performance? Not even the slightest bit.
Yeah, it's absolutely one that I'm looking forward to. I really hope that Martinetti can continue that surge from Dana White Contender Series. Bro, he hasn't lost since 2017. He's nice with it. Our boy, an honorary boy in the back, Montel Quick Jackson.
Shout out.
He is back after a split decision loss, unfortunately, to Davison Figueiredo in Brazil in October of last year. And he's getting another Brazilian in Helwani Barcelos, who has quietly won 4 in a row, including a 3-0 run in 2025. He is taking the long way to get back into the rankings. 4-fight win streak, 10-4 in the UFC.
Okay, but that 3-0 in 2025, Peyton Talbot,
as like a plus 900.
Cody Garbrandt, which, you know, in this era is not as huge a win, but still
I think he was an underdog in that one.
Of course he was. You see Helwani Barcelos, big win though.
I could be wrong.
Ricky Simone, like this is a
not a bad
nice run.
Not a bad run. If he beats Montel to get in the rankings, that would be fucking incredible. But Montel Jackson currently sits as a minus 180. Rightfully so. Montel is nice. Split decision against Figgy, like that's nothing in Brazil too. Yeah. Like that's nothing to sneeze at.
It's the power. If Montel is doing what Montel does and he's able to get off the slick hands and gets the power going, like, man, 38-year-old Helwani Barcelos is like not the ideal person to be on the other end of that. And so I lean toward Montel. But much like with the Davey Grant one, like Helwani Barcelos always plays spoiler, is always the underdog, always finds a way to win. So I wouldn't be shocked by him winning, but I do favor Montel here.
Your boy.
Who's my boy?
Not Bodkins. Buchecha.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Eric Anders.
That's a good shout. That's a good shout. Shout out to Eric Anders. No, your boy Buchecha.
My boy, Marcus.
The Buchecha show continues. 1-1. Does he become 1-1 this weekend in the UFC?
Oh boy, you put me on the spot here.
Look, man, Ryan Span's going to give him a fight, which, you know, not necessarily his other 2 opponents in the UFC thus far have. 10 of his last 11 ending in round 1 or 2.
I don't think I could be further off the Buchecha bandwagon than I am right now. Like,
he needs to win by submission against the guy who has nasty jiu-jitsu. Ryan Spann has 14 wins by submission. I understand he's lost by submission as well, but
most of the time the Ryan Spann submissions are like a little bit of like club and sub or like
jumping
a ghillie. Let's call it what it is. The grappling is not going to be close, but the MMA grappling for Marcus Buchecha has been absolute dog shit. Like, he has not looked like a superior grappler in any of his fights. He's just looked very average. I was about to say academic, very average. And not the wizard on the ground that he has proven to be in his jiu-jitsu career. I don't know what he has for Ryan Spann. It's pretty sad that this has gone the way it has gone for somebody who is as accomplished a grappler as he is, who is as decorated a BJJ player as he is. I think Ryan Spann's going to knock him the fuck out pretty easily.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't really see how he wins fights. He has not proven to have any real skills in MMA.
We can get that underdog price tag on Ryan Spann right now. Plus
I think that's the play. He has been so abysmal in all of these fights, even the draw.
Yeah.
Like, he just has not looked good at MMA.
Let's go to the prelims. There's a couple walking papers fights on these prelims.
Tell me.
Well, Adolfo Vieira versus Eric McConaughey in the most random matchup of the century. SD Dumas versus Jackson McVeigh. That's a loser leaves town game. That's a loser leaves town type of fight.
Adolfo, a version of a jiu-jitsu player, a very, very high level jiu-jitsu player, decorated jiu-jitsu player, who's had a better, transition to MMA. I think, he should very easily get the dub over Eric McConaughey.
Mayra Buena Silva.
And I think Jackson McVeigh might get the dub over SD Dumas. The SD Dumas thing is just at what point does
I can't
this
believe
come
he's
to an
still
end?
around.
What is happening?
I can't believe he's still around. 4 straight losses and a no contest for Mayra Buena Silva. Has not won since the Lena Landsberg fight in February of 2023. And I just want to remind everyone, we didn't forget the tweets from early 2024 when she fought for the vacant title against
What do we got?
Raquel Pennington. No, I wish I had them. I wish I had gone and pulled them. Mayra Buena Silva was the world beater. She was one of the greatest women's bantamweight to ever grace this earth entering that Raquel Pennington fight.
She was the uncrowned champ.
Raquel Pennington underdog bettors know. Am I the women's bantamweight king? Took Raquel Pennington as an underdog.
Who's
and
to
then took
check?
Juliana Pena as an underdog against Raquel Pennington.
What about Juliana Pena as an underdog against Amanda Nunes?
Didn't take that. TST took that, though.
Shout out TST.
Shout out to him. Losses to Raquel Pennington, Macy Chazon, Jasmine Jazavicius. Remember, she went down to 125 for a bit there. Jacqueline Cavalcante.
That didn't go well, yeah.
Lost that one as well. Now she gets Michelle Montague, the uncrowned queen. Mayra Buena Silva finds herself as a plus 330 underdog to Michelle Montague.
Montague has a win over Luana Carolina. Yeah, I mean, boy, tough for our girl, Mayra Buena Silva.
Can't imagine they're going to keep her around if she loses this fight.
Having a kid.
Congratulations.
Hey, this is a way to go out. But I don't know a ton about Montague, but it doesn't look good for Shitara. It's like
beating up babies.
The deck is stacked against her here, huh? No, she's having a baby. She's not beating up a baby.
Oh! Technically, Michelle Montague is beating up babies. Cody Durden on a 4-fight losing streak as well, taking on Jafel Filo. Another massive underdog that I can't
Short
imagine.
notice, right? He just filled in on this, right?
Yeah, plus 475. I can't imagine if he loses this one.
Yeah.
Supposed to be Lucas Rocha.
Rocha just pulled out.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Look, it's been a bad run for Cody Durden. Let's not mince words here.
Atlanta's own.
But he is a gamer, that dude. Like 100% willing to fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. There's a lot of guys who say that. And Chael Sonnen is famous for talking about this. There are many, many people who will tell you, I'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. Very few are actually telling the absolute truth about that. Cody Durden is that guy. Cody Durden is the I'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. But what happens when you become that guy is it doesn't usually go your way because that is not the ideal scenario to fight under, and he's a massive dog here. I mean, I hope
4 straight losses.
Yeah,
1 and 6 in his last 7.
I was gonna say I hope he sticks around, but like at a certain point you can't, right?
If you go 1 and 7 in 8 fights, you got to get.
You got to be Sam Alvey, Tai Tuivasa. You got to be a fan favorite. You got to be a guy that they need to keep around.
Yeah, Lucas Brennan, who, as I was looking through it, I was like, I know Lucas Brennan, man. He used to be one of those Bellator guys. He definitely lost as like a minus 1,500
sure
in
enough.
Bellator. I was incorrect. He lost in PFL as a minus 1,600 back in April of 2024. Yep. When he was in Bellator, he was a minus 575, a minus 1,300, a minus 1,100. I remember throwing him in all the Bellator parlays. A minus 1,100.
So
a
he
minus
served you well in
600.
Bellator then, is what
in
you're
Bellator,
saying.
he was great, man. Had a 9-0 Bellator career. Got the PFL minus 1,600 loss. Finds himself as a big underdog to Francis.
This is a tough fight. This is a very tough fight. Francis Marshall is a good fighter. I gotta side with Francis here, but Lucas Brennan is talented. Like there's no doubt about it. There's a reason he was a touted prospect and somebody who would have been as big a favorite as he was in those fights. But man, Francis Marshall's been in the UFC kind of showing the level here. I favor Francis.
Curtain jerker, Julia Pilastri, Talita Allengar, and then Max Payne Griffin versus Victor Valenzuela. And that is your UFC. Look at that. Look at those bars, flipping through those bars. Your UFC 116 preview. 116 shows in the Apex. Not counting
Not enough.
the pay-per-views that happened there.
We need more.
Hey, man, they're getting their money worth.
And fight nights. Pay-per-views and fight nights.
Yeah. During
Or do those count? Wait, were those called Vegas whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
The early Vegas cards are sick.
Okay.
Like Poirier Hooker was
like UFC Vegas 12 or whatever. Okay, that's fair enough then. So yeah, it is just the numbered events that didn't count. How many pay-per-views were in the fucking Apex? Like at least like
3 or 4.
Yeah, I know Stipe and Cormier trilogy was in the fucking Apex. What a... Yeah. Anyway, all right.
I mean, you had Anderson Silva fighting in the
Silva
Apex.
versus Uriah Hall, his final fight. He's in the Apex, fucking on his knees, leaving MMA for good, and it's in the Apex.
You had Overeem versus Sakai in there.
Who could forget?
You had Smith Rakic. You had Frankie Edgar headlining the Apex. You had Derek Lewis headlining the Apex. I'm just looking at all these, man.
We haven't had enough Apex fights. That's what I'm hearing. We need more.
We need more. Santos versus Teixeira.
This headliner in the Apex is rock solid. I love this fucking headliner.
Fantastic.
I love it.
Fantastic.
I love it.
I'm trying to get to the bottom of what Apex number was the Dan Hooker fight.
Tell me.
I'm trying. June 27th, 2020. Yeah, it looks like UFC Apex 4. Yeah.
Shit.
It was early on. Mike Perry, Mickey Gall in the co-main.
Hey.
I think that was the Halo one.
Oh, I mean, legendary moment.
All right, let's get to our bets and Parlay Pals. Parlay Pals last week, I think they came away as winners, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey!
Sure did. Greened out, baby! And we will do the same this week. Pete's already given me his pick, Montel Quick Jackson. Frankie, you go first, Rick, and then I'll finish us.
Yusef and Aljo over 1.5. I don't mind telling you. I mean over 2.5.
Yes, over 2.5. Over 2.5. Yeah, the over 1.5 is like minus 1,000. It's all right, man. It's okay. Ricky, who you got, brother?
I'm going Adolfo Vieira. I think that's the play.
Okay. Who's you betting him?
What's his name? Meconico.
Oh, yeah, Eric Meconico in the most random matchup of the century.
Yep.
I will actually go against Atlanta's own. I will go with Jafel Filo to get it done.
Love
it. If we win, are we in the green? Graphics department, if we win, are we in the green? We sure are.
Oh, yeah, I like this one.
Dirty.
Yeah.
Like that. I
feel good about this one.
I'm feeling it, boys.
Celebrating it before we've done it. That's how you know it's going to win.
Absolutely. All right, I actually only got one bet. I've been liking these nice, clean 1 to 2 bet weeks. This is a 1 bet week, and I will be going to the co-main event. I'll be going with Norma Dumont.
Yeah.
I think she's just been reigning over the top of this division for too long, and Jocelyn Edwards ain't ready for that smoke. Finish streak ends here. Winning streak ends here.
Norma Dumont era.
The big dumper, Norma Dumont.
The big dumper.
Shout out. That leads us to our pound for pound, and in honor of Ryan Superman Span in a massive fight against Marcus Buchecha, kicking off the main card of UFC Apex 116. Ryan Superman Span, pound for pound, superheroes. Frankie, what's the order, brother?
The order today will be Mysterious Frank, Georgia Connor,
Okay.
New York Rick.
Hey.
All right.
All right, starting us off, my number 5 pound for pound superhero is Mega City 1's only Judge Dredd.
Sick. That's a cool looking motherfucker.
It is an amazing picture. Let's just all look at it for a few moments while I think of what I want to say.
Oh, did you lose your notes, man?
Yeah.
Lost the Aljo 1.5 notes?
Never takes the helmet off. Some people know him as Joe. He's got a sidekick robot named Walter that speaks with a speech impediment. I don't know. If none of you have had the opportunity to read the old 1970s Judge Dredd, like, you're in for a treat. It's just pure satire, pure cynicism. It's amazing. But at the end of the day, like, you can't hold a candle to Judge Dredd. Like, he's amazing. Just a really good guy.
Shout out to him.
Wait,
man.
what? He's a really good guy?
Yeah.
Sometimes you start
Outstanding
rambling,
dude.
You say
Frankie.
some things that just don't make any
Outstanding
sense.
dude.
Nobody can hold a candle to him except for these 4 others that I'm about to name
Well,
that
I
are
was
higher
getting
ranked.
to that. I was getting to that.
Yeah.
This is my pound for pound list.
Yep.
When it comes to holding a candle next to Judge Dredd, we got number 4, Blade. And look,
Sick.
I fucks with the Wesley Snipes Blade just as much as anyone else does, but the original 1973 Blade that was put out by Marvel Comics is just GOAT status.
They call me Blade.
The Vampire Killer.
Yeah.
Got the afro, got the
Yellow
stakes,
glasses.
the knives. He's the daywalker, always has been. Wesley Snipes also nailed it in the 90s, but you got to have him. Followed by number 3, Dracula's bastard child, Alucard. If you spell his name backwards, it says Dracula. That's how you know Daddy loved him for a little bit.
He's
But
a hero?
He's a hero. He's also he's a half vampire, half human, kind of like Blade. And he is the only one that could stop Dracula. And that
Shout
makes
out.
him one of the best. But number 3 on the pound for pound list is my number 2 is the Cimmerian himself, Conan the Barbarian. Went to a concert last night just to respect my pound for pound for today. This guy is amazing. There's another photo of him here being crucified.
Jesus.
And he was able to survive the ordeal. One of those vultures gets too close to him, and Conan bites its neck and drinks its blood and is able to survive. Robert E. Howard, rest in peace.
He's a hero?
He's an amazing hero. Also played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was just announced that he will be in the King Conan movie that will come out sometime in the future.
Arnie.
I hate how they keep announcing movies like 3 or 4 years.
Oh, it's
before
the
they're
fucking
supposed to
worst,
be
man.
out.
I've been waiting on the Into the Spider-Verse 3 for years. bro.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And then number 1, you know him, I know him, everyone loves him. It's Spawn. Lives in East Village, apparently, in the alleys, which don't exist. But he's amazing. This guy goes to hell, makes a deal with the devil to come back just to be with his wife. And little does he know, the devil played a trick on him, which is like, now you're misfigured. No one's going to recognize you. Oh, and also, I need you to lead the entire army of hell's demons. So he's just split down the middle. Like, what do? I just wanted to be with my wife, and now I've got to literally raise hell against the soldiers of heaven. It's amazing.
And he lives in the East Village.
He lives in East Village, and then this is what's funny is that his wife lives in what they refer to as the suburbs, which is Queens.
Shout out.
And they'll go out there, and there's like white picket fences and like these beautiful houses. Just to break the kayfabe a little bit, Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn, he's from Canada. So
Shout out.
It shows.
His New York knowledge, yeah.
Exactly. A
Is
little
there a
lacking.
movie about Spawn?
There was one made in the 90s. Not great, but definitely worth watching.
Excuse me.
I mean, not great.
Careful.
All right.
Michael Jai White as Spawn.
He's
John
amazing.
Leguizamo as Violator.
Best
Don't
soundtrack.
go
I think
there.
the soundtrack has even shown up on a few of our pound for pound lists in the past.
Best soundtrack ever?
No, I wouldn't go that far. Really good.
Great movie though.
Best soundtrack. Nothing can hold a candle
can
to
hold
it
a
except for
candle
these
to it.
4 other things.
Except for the Titanic soundtrack.
All right, respect, Frank. Respect.
Can I ask something before we proceed?
Please.
Was even one of those people a superhero?
Not in my book, but like I expected you guys to have a much more deeper knowledge of like the DC, Marvel, all these other characters. Mine's going to be much more mainstream. So I just kind of went along with it. But that is why I asked several times, is this guy a hero?
I just need to understand, is heroism part of this? I did not, I operated with the heroism is important.
Not only the heroism, but like you're a superhero.
Yeah, like a hero
Is
to
Conan
who, you know?
is Conan O'Brien a superhero?
No, but is Spawn a superhero? Spawn
I don't know. I don't know
is
anything about Spawn.
An anti-hero. He is not a superhero.
What are you talking about? He stops child molesters.
Right, but he is he's leading Hell's army.
He leads the army
He's
of hell.
conflicted about it. He doesn't want to do that.
Let's ask the almighty AI. Is Spawn a superhero?
I was going to say he's an anti-hero.
Next, you're going to say Walter White's not a superhero.
Spawn is primarily considered an anti-hero rather than a traditional superhero.
Yeah, no shit. Blade is not a hero either.
Yeah, overview continues.
You watch vampires.
Mysterious Frank is a dumb fuck and he's wrong.
All right,
wow.
anyway.
Wow, Google. Pulling no punches.
Wait, Google is AI now?
Yeah,
Google gives you the AI overview.
These are fucking superheroes. Shut up.
Okay.
The AI overview from our AI overlords. Thank you, Google, for solving our problems. All right. Number 5. You're going to notice a trend with a lot of these.
All right.
This man shoots energy out of his eyeballs. Don't mistake it with lasers, but he shoots energy out of his eyeballs. And more importantly, the dude is getting a fit off constantly. That is Cyclops of the X-Men. Sick name. Look at this. I mean, come on, bro. You talk about aura. Bro's got aura. Look at these suits that dude's pulling off. I mean, are you kidding me? Wolverine pulls up and he's just like, yo, what the fuck? Cyclops.
Definitely shaves his ass.
I'm supposed to be the coolest looking guy here. Cup? No cup?
Yeah, that's a cup.
Shout out.
Why do they call him Cyclops?
I mean, look at this. The blue and black. He even poses like he's trying to get a fit off. Like he's like, yo, check out the fit.
These are some old school.
Yeah, can I
Look at
say,
this.
though,
Like, can the white and black X? Are you kidding me? Swag, bro.
his abs look very weird here. It's almost like he's pregnant. You are very partial to the covered head Cyclops.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I like
for sure.
the open head lettuce.
Yeah, I feel you on the lettuce, but the full coverage, I prefer that. I think there was one more, the red and black suit, the Phoenix suit. Do we have that? No.
Let me see it.
We might not have it. We might not have it.
Oh, we don't have it.
This is heartbreaking. That is the one suit that I wanted, Dan. I'm gonna have to send it to you.
I have to say, I love the blue yellow
classic.
The
Red hair.
bandolier,
Yes.
open top, yellow visor, head of lettuce popping out. Like
Okay, so you know that he's going to be in Doomsday.
Yeah, Doomsday, and he's got the hair out.
Yeah, he's going to be in the OG one, the one that you're talking about.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
The new suit that I'm about to show that I'm currently sending to Dan as we speak.
This is red and black, you said?
Oh, it's fire.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the Phoenix
All
suit,
right.
but it is also head covered. I respect the lettuce as well.
You like the head covered Cyclops? I like it.
It's a fit, bro. The dude's
He has style. He has style.
some of the coolest looking suits. But yeah, particularly the red and black Phoenix.
Oh
No
yeah,
joke.
that goes hard.
What
That's a
heroic
fit, bro.
deed did Cyclops accomplish?
He saves people. He's part of the X-Men.
He's part of the X-Men. He saves people and he shoots energy out of his eyeballs.
Simping for Jean Grey all the time.
Bro looks sick. Another guy that is just constantly just doing it for the photo, for the flick. All timer, Silver Surfer.
Okay. No. To Rick's point,
Yeah, he's not a
this
hero.
guy is a fucking villain.
This motherfucker's cool as shit.
He is cool as shit though.
Villain with good intention. He's just out here aura farming. He's not even doing anything bad. He's just like,
on
yo.
Earth because he's gonna fucking
Yeah,
destroy
look
it.
at him. He's like, yo, I look sick as fuck. Someone snap a pic. Someone snap a pic of me,
Look
bro.
at his
I
shaven
look
ass.
so
Yo,
Galactus,
sick
yo,
as fuck.
Galactus,
Look at
Galactus,
this.
take this.
Look at this, bro. He's like, yo.
That's so menacing.
He's like, dude, the stars look fucking sick behind me. Get this pic. Get this pic. He's like, no smile, no smile. Look at this. Look at this. He's just looking out at the planets, bro. He's just fucking getting a fucking fit off. Like, look at the fucking silver. Look at him. He's just, all he's doing is just trying to get pics for his IG. Shout out to the Silver Surfer, man.
What an IG.
And then, like, on top of that, near indestructibility, faster than light interstellar flight, manipulation of the power cosmic. He can absorb and project energy. He can alter matter, heal organisms, possesses vast super strength, cosmic senses, telepathy, usually channeled through his sentient, indestructible surfboard.
Yeah, power level wise, Silver Surfer is a fucking demon.
Fucking love that guy.
a demon for sure.
No. Villain with good intentions. Not anti-hero.
It was just a misunderstanding.
Another guy that just looks cool as fuck. Frank had him on the list. You got to have him on here if you like fucking cool guys. That's
Ooh.
Blade.
Oh yeah.
Whether you're talking about the comic book version or you're talking about Wesley Snipes' version, I mean,
Fuck.
nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. The sunglasses, the gun, the sword, the part vampire. He's as cool as it gets. Glad to see him back in Wolverine Deadpool. Hopefully he's back in a couple of these other ones as well. Shout out to Blade. Number two.
There's a new Blade, that's why.
Oh, shit. A whole new Blade?
Yeah, the famous actor. Fuck me.
Oh, damn. I wouldn't keep
Fuck me.
It was
Oscar winner.
It was Snipes in
Yeah.
Deadpool Wolverine.
No. Come on, Frank, help me out.
No. This is not my fault.
Hold on. Mahershala Ali.
Oh,
Mahershala
shout out to
Ali.
him.
I think you're just getting
But then they
Isaac
scrapped it. He was supposed to have a solo movie. They scrapped it.
Wouldn't have had an issue with that. Number two, a man born in the 90s. This was my guy growing up. Tobey Maguire will always be my Peter Parker. Now we got Miles Morales. We got Tom Holland and everything like that. The man, he lives in the city we live in. Spider-Man. Shout out to him.
Boy from Queens.
I mean, you talk about the suits are sick. The soundtracks to the movies are sick. The video games are sick. I mean, like, once we got the emotional baggage, the tragedy that he goes through. The Miles Morales suit is sick.
Who is your Spider-Man, though?
Tobey Maguire. Peter Parker.
No, sorry,
Peter
not
Parker.
actor. Yeah, Peter
Also,
Parker.
can we talk about the nostalgia? There's the nostalgia that's flooding my brain seeing this frosted Spidey Berry Pop-Tarts that came out with the OG movie, the Kellogg's cereal that came with the web shooter all time. I mean, like every summer from like 02 to 06 going to see these movies in theater. It was so good. It was so good. Felt like the Andrew Garfield one was rushed. Felt like we didn't need it so quickly.
I didn't hate him, but I didn't love him.
I didn't hate him, didn't love him. It felt like we had the 03 Hulk, and then 08 we had Incredible Hulk, and then we get the Mark Ruffalo Hulk.
Yeah.
We can't be switching up our superheroes like that. Speaking of switching up superheroes that are constantly switched up, it might as well be like James Bond is my number one. He doesn't live in New York. He lives in Gotham. It's Batman. The logo, the look. The logo is so iconic. It's tremendous.
This is the 89 movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
Animated series, all time, growing up.
Animated series.
Throwing on the WB with this on, all timer. Absolutely love it. The Dark Knight, are you fucking kidding me? In my opinion, like the greatest superhero movie ever.
Yeah.
The whole trilogy was just insane. Now the new Robert Pattinson one is fucking great itself. Like, it's so good. I just love like the darkness of it. The Batmobile. Are you kidding me? It's fantastic. Shout out to Batman.
So is this an argument, though, for the resets?
Talk about aura farming, too. The guy. Yeah. Keep resetting it because I'll keep watching them. I mean, like, what is this? Bro is not trying to save the city. He's trying to get a sick pick.
I mean, he is getting frame mogged by Silver Surfer, though, like 100%.
Oh, for sure. If we're talking about coolest looking, it's Silver Surfer, followed by Cyclops, followed by Blade, followed by Batman, followed by Spidey. But, like, he's absolutely... No one is mogging Silver Surfer,
Nobody's
I can tell you that. It's fucking... I have loved the Silver Surfer my whole life because I'm like, that guy's sick.
Yeah, he is
we're like,
sick.
oh, cool Batmobile, bro. Yeah, here's my intergalactic surfboard that travels the speed of light. Batmobile, I love the ever-changing. Each of them got their own that goes with each actor that had it. Yeah, shout out to Batman.
I mean, Batman's fucking incredible. Great list.
Silver Surfer, bro.
Silver
Doesn't get enough respect.
Silver Surfer's just got aura, for sure.
Doesn't get enough respect.
All right. I tried to stick to the heroism, right? I had some, like, Blade would have probably made my list because I love those films so much, but I tried to...
Just a little bit too much of a dirtbag for you.
He's just killing vampires. He's not really saving the world. He's just kind of killing vampires because he hates fucking vampires.
I was gonna say it's not that he wants humans to be saved. He wants vampires to be dead.
Yes, that's correct. He is trying to eliminate vampires.
Why do you
Fuck
think people
vampires.
become cops?
Jesus, Frank.
Oh man.
All right.
WFB shining through there.
All right. Number 5. A hero, a conflicted hero. Not by the nature of not wanting to do heroism, but by the nature of, like, he's fighting his own instincts at times. This is a split man. There's a duality that exists here. But at the end of the day, when duty calls, he is there on his own as part of the Avengers. He is the Hulk. The Hulk is I mean,
love the Hulk.
Just the idea of a being that gets stronger as they get angrier is just an incredible concept. The fact that his power is almost limitless because he can continue to get angrier and get stronger and angrier and stronger and angrier and stronger. Comic-wise, design-wise, he's just fucking incredible. But the duality of the fact that he is in human form before he transforms, a nerdy scientist, one of the smartest people on the planet, who has to fight the nature to get angry to become the Hulk. Like, he does not want to summon his powers. He does not want to use his powers, but sometimes it necessitates it to save the world. He's just an incredibly fascinating character.
Becomes a true alter ego where he can't control himself.
Yeah.
Being green.
Yeah.
Shout out to the purple shorts, too. You know, he's not really ever wearing purple pants, but then when he gets angry, his shorts become purple, which are fire.
Perfectly fitted.
There are multiple...
They do fit him well.
They somehow stretch with him.
The Hulk definitely shaves his ass.
He is... there are multiple forms of him. There's the Red Hulk. There's all kinds of different Hulks. Also the idea that, like, he's a brilliant man, but when he transforms, he's an absolute fucking... idiot savage that just can destroy things.
Also, like, I have to say that was my honorable mention. Growing up, like, at 10 years old, going to see the 03 Hulk movie was...
That was the Ang Lee one?
Yeah. That was an all-timer. looking back, it's not a great movie,
No.
but like we got the Hulk hands out of it.
Oh, yeah.
The Hulk koozie for your drinks and everything like that. Shout out to the Hulk,
Hulk's
man.
cool.
That was my one honorable mention that just barely missed the list. Love the Hulk.
Is this a PBR?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. You walk into a party with that on, heads
People
are turning.
know.
Heads
know.
are turning. That guy knows ball. Oh yeah, the Hulk hands with the sound action when you punch them together.
Were these the hard plastic or those look those look hard? Those are the rubber ones?
Yeah, these are like the softer ones. Yeah,
they look fucking tough. I don't want to get punched by those.
Shout out to the Hulk.
Number 4. This person will be considered more of an anti-hero by most, but they're mistaken. Because when the chips are down, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, ultimately, I'm trying to think of how many cliches I can do here. He is a hero, and he will ride for his people, and he will find a way to save the day. And that's Logan himself. That's Wolverine. Look, he's a loner, no doubt. There are times he's going to be doing his own thing and not be concerned about saving the world or not be concerned about saving his team. But when that call goes out and when he is needed, he does show up, and he's a fucking unkillable machine of violence with claws on his fucking hands. Like, he is just cool as shit because he doesn't age, or at least ages at a very, 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 very slow rate. Heals instantly. That is his actual superpower. The claws are not a power. The claws are the exoskeleton of adamantium that was inserted into him by the Weapon X project. But he's fucking dope. He's a Wolverine. Yes.
Look at this. His arms, he doesn't shave his ass.
Yo,
does not shave his
following
ass.
the logic.
Confirmed. Wolverine does not shave his ass.
Hairy
Where's
as
Wolverine
fuck.
from?
Like Canada, I think.
Georgia?
No, he's American, and
Armenia?
the Weapon X project was in Canada. He has some Canadian history, some bullshit. But shout out to Logan, shout out to Wolverine. Canonically in the comics, like 5'3", but played by Hugh Jackman, who's like 6'2" in the movies.
Insane to make Wolverine 5'3".
He's
have
just a short
you
guy.
seen the meme of like it's where it's height accurate?
Height accurate Wolverine. Gangster, as I said, many would say anti-hero, but he is part of the X-Men and he does deliver when it's time. Number 3. This one was one I came to late. I got to be honest. I have always known about this superhero. I have always appreciated the superhero, but I didn't truly love this superhero until much more recently. As a kid, I always thought he was kind of corny. As a kid, I always thought he was kind of cookie cutter, boring, not so interesting, overpowered, all these things that I now have come to realize as an older man, as somebody who can appreciate things much more greatly and has lived in this world, realized what a symbol of hope he can be, and that is the one and only Superman. That is Clark Kent. That is Kal-El. It's easy to look at this guy and be like, he's a god from another planet. What's so cool about that? Like, he can't die. He's indestructible. He's OP. Like, all these things. But when you do think about the fact that he is an alien from another planet, but what his superpower is showing us the best of humanity, showing us that when given these powers, the thing he chooses to do with it is to help people and save people and be a shining beacon of hope for the humans out there, and compromise himself and sacrifice all the things that he does, not being able to live the life that he may want to live. To do that, I've come to appreciate Superman in a major way, and his vulnerability, his option, his choice to be vulnerable and to be human, the most human, you could argue, is his superpower, and he's fucking awesome. I love Superman now.
Dan posted a good question.
Yes.
What is he doing with his hand here, bro?
What do you mean? He's flying.
Oh, okay. Does it solve it for you, Dan?
Superman roller coaster at Six Flags Over Georgia, all timer.
Sick ride.
You like get pulled up to where you're
flatten
flying.
out.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's so good. It's so good.
But yeah, I thought Superman was super corny. Like, and we'll get to some alternative options in the DC world that, contrast with Superman. I just thought he was like kind of like he's too wholesome. He's too cookie cutter. I need a little more dark. I need a little more brooding. I've come to really appreciate that that's not the message that he's sending, and he's actually something different. And I really like what Superman represents. Number 2 is probably the antithesis. Probably the reason why I thought he was corny. Probably the one I have spent the most time with. Probably the one that I ultimately like the most. Probably the one that represents the things that kind of like I more identify with, and why I thought Superman was so corny, because I felt myself more connected to the superhero. He is the Cape Crusader. He is the defender of Gotham. He is the Dark Knight. He is Batman. He is just fucking incredible. He is just...
Shout out.
He's just everything. Like, and he represents something completely different, right? He's more of a brooding, pain, trauma kind of conversation.
Top 1%. Ultra
rich billionaire, but chooses to spend his nights in the alleys fighting crime. Also,
you giving us a tax the rich speech, Frankie?
Yeah, and also don't give me this bullshit about Batman could really save the world if he donated to charity. He is a philanthropist. It is canonical that
he is philanthropizing.
No, you're a fucking liar.
That's the picture for the charity, bro. You're gonna donate when you see a dude looking that cool, man.
You're like, hey, I'm signing up to do that. He gives away his money. Batman's dope.
Sick video games.
Amazing video games, amazing lore, amazing rogues gallery. There's an argument to be made that he has the best villains in comics, right? Like there are actually people who would make the argument that Batman's not that cool and his villains are actually cooler, and that is what makes Batman. But I love Batman. I love his lore. I love everything that is surrounding Batman, the Bat family itself. And so that leads me to my number one. And this harkens back to a previous list we had when I talked about iconic duos. When I mentioned the duos, my number one was Batman and the Boy Wonder Robin. So my number one is the OG Robin.
Wow. Robin number one.
But it's Nightwing. It is Dick Grayson. It is Dick Grayson as Nightwing. The evolution, the heir to the throne, the heir to the cowl, the heir to the Batman cowl. He is the original Robin. He is the one that Bruce Wayne raised to become the successor, to become I mean, here we see the various versions, the iterations, right? Like as the kind of sidekick. But why I picked Nightwing, why I think it's so special is because, and here's like a panel from a comic. I think this was Nightfall, where Bruce is fighting Dick and is essentially in the fight, recognizing that everything that he groomed him to become was because he would be the best Batman.
He's a better Batman.
And why he's the better Batman is because Bruce Wayne, Batman's shortcomings are that he's like solitary, are that he's singularly driven, are that he can't get past his trauma. Dick Grayson, as Robin, as Nightwing, suffered the same thing that Bruce Wayne did. His family was killed in front of him. He saw them fall off the trapeze. There was an accident with the trapeze. In some versions, just an accident, a freak accident. In some versions, it was caused by a villain. In any case, he watched his family die, and instead of utilizing that trauma and using it to seek vengeance in the way that Batman did, he overcame it. He learned from Batman. He became prepared by Batman. And then used it and became a leader of the Teen Titans. He's just almost as brilliant as Bruce Wayne. I wouldn't say that he is, but definitely as skilled in the martial arts, learning from Batman himself. Definitely a better like acrobat, definitely more agile in that regard, but is not saddled by the trauma, uses it for good, is much more lighthearted, jokey, able to kind of have fun, able to have real relationships with people, doesn't sacrifice everything for only the vengeance that Batman seeks. He's just a better version of Batman. He truly is. Nightwing is the best of us and the best like ideal in my iteration. I love Batman. Batman's probably like foundational for me, but if you can improve upon Batman by making him much more balanced, I will take that 10 times out of 10 and I choose Nightwing.
What comics have you read?
All these. Like I was a comic book nerd growing up for sure.
I've never really saddled up and done a comic book series.
I want to be completely transparent. There are people out there that are going to be way more lore heavy and like, I know this person's powers versus this person's power level, and I'm not on that level. I don't have the crates of comic books, but I have read a ton of comic books when I was a youth, and these were all the ones I was reading. Spawn, that Frank mentioned, I was reading all those. Spider-Man was my honorable mention. I mean, the boy from Queens, you got to show love to that. But I read all this shit. Batman has the deepest, probably like, X-Men, Batman, Spider-Man, like you can't go wrong with any of those.
Frankie, you a comic book guy?
Yeah.
We were talking about reading a certain Batman series and Superman series the other day.
I frequent the comic book store down the street.
You want to go after the show?
Yeah, man, let me just check the schedule. Make sure there's no concerts or inside boxing pods.
I'd go with you for real.
I mean, I'll definitely go.
I'm going to grab a Silver Surfer comic. Shout out to my guy.
Hopefully we didn't piss off any comic nerds too bad.
No,
Oh shit!
I hope we did because
Connor's about to die.
All right, Connor.
Connor got that one down the
Went
wrong
down the
pipe.
wrong tube. Went down the wrong tube.
Connor, we made plans.
Rick saw it on my face. Went down the wrong
As soon
tube.
as that went down, I was like, oh shit.
I'm good.
But hopefully we did a good service to the comic book community. Love comic books. Me and Frank are both reading Absolute Batman. Are you reading Absolute Superman too or no?
No, Absolute Wonder Woman.
Oh,
but
Absolute
Andy
Wonder
just
Woman.
asked to borrow my graphic novels of Absolute Batman.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
Hell yeah. Let's go get a comic after the show, bro.
We'll go to the comic book store after
What
the show.
about you, Andy?
It's like we're in an episode of The Big Bang Theory, Frank.
All right, you're gonna have to go by yourself.
any comic proclivities? Any heroes that you love?
Yes, I love the X-Men generally.
Fuck yeah.
But I mean,
Storm.
she doesn't really qualify here, but Mystique. I love Mystique.
for
and
sure.
Storm, respect my girl, guys. Storm
Hey,
is
I
a
just said,
superhero.
you said X-Men. Shout out to Storm.
She is incredible. But yeah, Batman also like really, really high up on my list. I was actually having this conversation with my husband recently, how we didn't need the Robert Pattinson movie. We didn't need it, but it was
That's
so
bullshit.
good.
It was good.
Like, it was like unexpectedly incredible.
Loved it, but I am now like, we're waiting too long for the next one.
Yeah.
It left us on the cliffhanger, and it's been almost 5 years since the last one came out.
I mean, apparently there was some kind of like script thing between James Gunn and Matt Reeves, and we don't know when, you know. And we saw the trailer for Clayface yesterday. I was excited about that. A straight up horror movie. It is going to be a straight up horror movie.
Which is sick. It just makes you appreciate an award-winning trilogy coming out, year after year after year. Like a 2001, 2002, 2003.
Shout out.
Talking about Nolan movies, right? You're talking about The Dark Knight and Batman.
Gives you respect.
You couldn't be talking about anything else other than that.
2001, 2002, 2003.
What was in that?
Feature.
There was no
length
Batman.
films, Oscar.
And what about you, Dan? Anything comic book wise for you?
Not really big into comic books, but my number one is definitely Batman.
Sick.
I think the Arkham games are some of the greatest games.
So
ever.
Arkham games are fun.
So good.
I could double check that.
What are you checking?
I agree with him.
Oh, you're confirming that.
Yeah.
Frank, we got any voicemails, brother?
You got one or two.
Ahoy, hoy.
Hey, boys. Quick question. You guys talked about Conor McGregor's next fight. You think it's going to be Max Holloway.
Yeah.
And you guys were liking that fight. Me, personally, I'm a little bit worried that we're going down this dark path of Conor's past wins getting rewritten, and now are we running into the territory of his legacy being torn or damaged? Curious your thoughts. I personally don't like to see the Max Holloway fight. I think Max is at his peak and has been looking great, and it's probably going to piece him up. I'd like to see a fight where, it has some legs behind it, a new, fresh matchup that is winnable for Conor. I think we're kind of throwing him to the wolves if we give him a peak Max Holloway. Curious your thoughts. Also, got an idea here. I call in all the time and constantly feel like I'm just skipping through the voicemail section just to see if you answered my question. And I listen to a lot of, let's be honest, a lot of your fans' nonsense and would love a way to know if my question is going to get answered so I can tune into that video. And you don't have to tell me a time. I'll watch through if I know my call is going to be answered. But right now I'm just watching every episode, listening to all these mailmen trying to call and set fights, and I just want to know the answer to my question. So maybe you can send a little memo out, like, hey, we're gonna answer your question.
Yeah, here's your
Just
memo.
thought. Peace.
Did it.
How did you expect us to do that? You want us to send a memo? We really appreciate the call, man. But like, what do you want us to do here?
Send another voicemail
Send it out.
asking us how
All right,
we
let's address.
My man's coming up with a lot of problems. He's not coming up with many solutions. Oh, we send it out. Oh, Conor McGregor, we need a young up-and-comer that is a winnable fight for him. Who is
right.
on Conor
I
McGregor's
give a
level?
shit, so give us a fucking answer.
Let's take these piece by piece. Will there be a messaging system to people who get their voicemails on? Absolutely fucking not. 0% chance. Listen to the goddamn voicemails. If you need to skip the mailman, skip the mailman, but your questions are going to be answered in real time on here. Conor McGregor.
Max. You said that we liked it? I favor Max in that one. I don't think Max is at his peak. I don't think he's at his prime.
I don't think he's at his
But
peak.
I think he's in a much better position than Conor McGregor is. We haven't seen Conor McGregor fight in 5 years off of a snapped leg. We have no idea how he is going to look. It's impossible to know.
It's a very interesting thing, though, that I hadn't thought about previously, though. The idea of, like, the Dustin fight, right? That was in stone. And then the Dustin second and third fight happened, and now how you feel about Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier has changed.
Sure.
Max Holloway, Conor's beat him. You dig that back up, and Max beats the brakes off him now. You do kind of change the legacy a little bit. It's an interesting perspective. There's one name that I can think of. There's one name that fits the criteria that fits. Again, that's another rehash, right? Now, if Nate Diaz wins, it's 2-1 Nate. Another rehash. There's one person that I think fits the criteria, and that person is fighting in July. Paddy Pimblett. The fight was Conor McGregor versus Paddy Pimblett, in my opinion. That was the one.
I know, but you talk about legacy, darn it. If he goes out there and gets finished by Paddy Pimblett,
then you have a fucking megastar in Paddy Pimblett.
He's going to be putting a risk on no matter who he fights. I just like.
But you can.
I don't necessarily feel that much better about McGregor against Paddy Pimblett
In terms of how he could win?
Yeah, just like, I don't feel really confident about McGregor against anyone.
100% not, but here's the difference to me. At least with that, one, as he said, it doesn't like change his legacy, right? If
His legacy is 2016, getting the double champ.
That's fair.
Floyd Mayweather.
That's a completely fair point. That's completely fair, and like the greatest earner we've ever seen. That's fair. The other thing, though, is you can't really build on this with Max. In the same way you couldn't really do it with Dustin. Dustin ended up ultimately just going toward title opportunities. It didn't make him it didn't make Dustin this box office attraction. It didn't change him in the way that it did for Nate Diaz. It will not do that for Max. Max is already beloved, is already a headliner like Dustin was. He will continue to be. But it's not going to catapult Max into like this extra like stratosphere. For Paddy Pimblett, it could do something to really materially change like how people think of him to get a win over Conor McGregor. And I would have liked to see that. Am I like heartbroken? No. Do I like Max versus Conor? I like it as much as I like any other kind of Conor fight. I'm with you where it's like there's just a bunch of options that I don't know if Conor McGregor is going to win. I'm fine with Max versus Conor. Paddy would have been the one I would have picked if they said he can fight anybody and Nate Diaz is not available. Paddy would have been my answer.
I'm going to be totally honest, dude. Unless McGregor puts on a great performance, wins, or loses in a close loss, I think if he comes back and loses, people are just going to be like, well, like, dude, he's washed. Like, he just doesn't have it anymore.
They will say that.
That's what it is. It doesn't matter who's it's against. I think his legacy is set in stone, all-time earner. He's done far, far worse to tarnish his legacy than losing a fight to Max Holloway.
Yeah, fair point. Very fair point.
What's up, my brothers? This is Uncle Homo. As someone who came up with pride, I've always been in support of knees and soccer kicks to a downed opponent. What's your take on implementing these into the UFC? I feel it would create a sense of urgency to not hang out in certain positions where fights can stall, and also create more exciting exchanges for people who do takedowns. And me, Rick, what'd you end up doing when you came to the Aina? Mahalo.
You want to take that?
Yeah, I did everything. Like I went to the banyan tree. They have I think he said, what did you do in Lahaina, right?
Yeah.
In Lahaina, before the horrible fires, they had all kinds of like commerce. Like they had art and restaurants and culture. It was like this incredible marketplace of just like, everything, like high end, low end, everything. It was just incredible. You basically just walk around there. And I would go to like stop in and get some art. I got all kinds of souvenirs from there. It felt like more authentic. Like I was actually getting something from the island. We ate. We went on one of those like submarine tours. They had a little part of a bay where you could go off and do submarine tours. I did that. But then there was this tree. There's this tree, like famous banyan tree that's like in the middle of it that is just like sprawling, massive, hundreds of years of growth. I believe that tree's still there. I don't think it burnt to the point that it's not healthy and growing anymore. I'd have to check. I did not go to Lahaina now because all those things that I talked about burned down and they are rebuilding Lahaina. It's not what it was back then. But there was this banyan tree that was just like, it was the size of a square block. It was just this massive tree that like, was beautiful. You could take pictures in the square. I have plenty of pictures of my kids and the rest of my family there. But Lahaina was special and beautiful. I love Maui. I love Hawaii. You know, I was just there. I can't get enough.
What was the other question you had?
Soccer kicks.
Oh yeah, they're violent. They're aggressive.
Are you pro or con?
Pro.
I'm pro too.
Yeah, had them back.
If we're truly opening up mixed martial arts to be like the most unfiltered version of this, open it fully up.
Let's do it.
We got the 12-6 elbows now. Soccer kicks are more brutal. Look, don't get me wrong, but like
they're brutal.
I'm in for it. I'm pro bringing soccer kicks into MMA as a whole.
What's up, lads? Jimmy from a little slice of paradise called Port Macquarie in New South Wales, Australia.
Shout out.
Just calling up to give you some thanks. I run a lawn mowing business here, so shout out genuine.lawncare on Instagram.
Shout out to genuine.lawncare.
Always got a heap of podcasting hours to fill, so between Boys in the Back, segments on Helwani show where you all just talk some shit amongst yourselves and regarding interviews and just the day-to-day MMA chit-chat constantly has me laughing, whether I'm on the mower or on the whip snipper. Something I've thought about with
the wick snipper.
UFC Perth coming up is you always drink like Fosters and they're fucking shit. No one drinks it here. So I thought you should try suss out Old Mate's Pub in New York.
I have heard very
good
good
things.
things.
It's like an Aussie pub that's owned by a shitload of Aussie celebrities. So I reckon you could probably jag a VB there. If not, maybe you'd get like a Cooper's Tail, which is like
Cooper's we have here.
Aussie-owned, Aussie-made beer. If not, lay up for a fight feast. Also, I'm saying this because I just listened to the most recent ep, and the fella from Townsville caught up about the BKFC event there. Fun fact, played footy with one of the boys on the card, Patrick Talone.
Oh, sure.
GC, you should load the fuck up on him because he's going to knock old Bud out cold. His nickname is Melon because his head is fucking enormous. So thank me later when he wins. Love the show. Keep up the good work, boys. Much appreciated. Ta.
Okay, several things there.
Yeah.
What did he say his name was?
I'm looking at it here. His name is Patrick Talone. He did not win.
Yes, he lost.
He did not.
He got knocked out in 30 seconds. Fuck. Sorry to hear that.
Sorry.
He does have a big melon.
He does have a big melon.
Glad we didn't load the fuck up. I'm sorry to hear that. Genuine Lawn Care, shout out. Just gave him a follow back on Instagram. Some great pictures
Love that.
of various lawns. Looks like he's got some custom water bottles. Looks incredible. The Foster's thing is more of a running joke at this point. We know that Aussies don't drink it. It literally says on the can that it's brewed in America now. We do have Coopers. Can't find VB anywhere. Cannot find VB anywhere. I've heard great things.
Have you heard of Old Mates?
I have several times. It's become a bit trendy. It got released on TikTok, but maybe during the weekday, maybe like on a Friday, I'll go check it out when it's not as popping and crowded. Like one of my friends tried to go recently, and they were charging cover on a Saturday night.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's not like you're like friendly neighborhood pub. It turns into like a poppin' ass bar on the weekend.
I just Googled Old Mates Pub VB Longneck and nothing came up.
I'm
so
telling
I don't
you,
know.
Can't find it, man. The only way I'm gonna get it is if I go down under. One day I'll be having a long neck down in Australia. It's gonna be great.
Hey boys, this is Marissa from Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm currently listening to the episode where you guys are arguing about whether or not women would have some kind of opinion or feel some type of way if they were dating a man or met with a man and saw, a UFC fighter or just any picture of a man on their body as a tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess from a woman's perspective,
sent the photos.
I genuinely would not care.
Okay.
I think it would be a little strange at first.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd be like, oh, who was that? And then they tell me,
That's Quill and
I'd be
Salkill.
like, interesting. So then I'd move on.
That's
I
Jubilee.
genuinely don't think I would make a big deal of it at all.
Oh, that's Sean Benning.
I think it's more weird to make a big deal of it. A lot of people get tattoos of a lot of very interesting choices. So,
Fair play.
I don't know. I guess from a woman's perspective, I genuinely wouldn't even think anything of it. Just my opinion. See you later.
We appreciate the opinion.
Is that
it's just fair play?
Is that you almost universal now? I do feel like there's almost an acceptance of like tattoos in a way there wasn't before.
No, it's not universal. If I was with a woman and she had like what the fuck is that tattoo? I would say
you'd call it out.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
If she had the Shauna Bannon tattoo, I'd be like, what?
No.
Why did you get that?
But wouldn't an explanation like now, right? Be like, how many people do you see that get like the dumbest like irony tattoos? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think those are the dumb ass shit.
So if somebody was like, yeah, I was drunk and we were like, it was just funny, you wouldn't.
It depends where it is, and it depends how funny it is.
If it's not funny,
if it is in plain sight and it is not funny, it's just like, nice job, man. Good one.
Yeah.
Good one getting that permanently put on your body.
Not to mention, like, how much do you think that John Jones tattoo cost?
Thousands, right? And how many hours was he in the chair?
Probably multiple sessions.
Crazy.
To be honest.
We must acknowledge it was pretty good work, though. It was a fucking...
The tattoo quality was mint.
Yeah.
And I love tattoos. Tattoos can, like... Sometimes when you see people with cool tattoos and then you see old pictures of them without tattoos, you're like, this guy wasn't cool at all until he got these tattoos. I love tattoos. But, man, if you get one that's just, like... It doesn't mean anything, and like it's just like dumb, and it's massive, and it's pointless. I'm just like, why? But to Marissa's point, if it's your partner and you don't care, fair play to you. Fair play to you. Who am I to say anything?
I feel like it's much more of an individual threshold of like how you will react to it is the thing.
If I saw that John Jones in person and it was one of my boys, I'd be like, what the fuck, dude? I would clown at almost every chance I
got. We saw Dan's tattoo.
Wait, we can't go to the pool with him. He's got the John Jones tattoo.
Yeah. No, you'd be like, let's go to the pool with him to see what people react to.
John Jones, the lower half of his face is going to be peeking out of his shorts. But we're going to see John Jones's dimples when he goes to do a cannonball, so we can't go to the pool.
So you wouldn't weaponize it. You'd be like, hide this man, instead of like, yo, look at my friend's fucking stupid tattoo.
It depends. Are we at a public pool or are we at like a friend's house and everyone else is seeing it for the first time?
Public pool.
Nah, I don't know, bro.
You can't roll with that. You're like, I don't know this fucking guy.
Dano got a nice tattoo.
The guy never sent us. The caller who had, what did he have? He had like Valentina and something else. He never sent us the pictures.
In my eyes, he was lying at this point.
We got to see the proof.
If you don't send the proof, it's like the guy that supposedly proposed. Liar. The guy that has Valentina and Michael Chiesa tattooed on him. Liar.
It was Chiesa?
I can't remember who it was. I'm just pulling people out of my ass.
There was Valentina. I forget who the other one was.
What's up, guys? Just finished listening to your pound for pound burns last week, and I wanted to mention mine because nobody else mentioned it.
I'd love to hear it.
And I think nobody mentioned it because it aged poorly. One of my favorite lines when I first heard it was when Dominic Cruz was doing his side-by-side with Cody Garbrandt, and Dominic Cruz said to Cody Garbrandt, I bought a house with the money I made beating your teammates. Who's going to teach you how to beat me? And obviously, the fight went as it did. But I thought that was such a sick burn.
So good.
That's a great burn.
Are there any other burns or good shit-talking lines that come to mind for you guys that aged poorly because the person that said it ended up losing the fight? All right, boys. Love the show. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Off the dome, I can't think of any, but that's actually a great question because that's an all-time line.
That's a good category of like burns that were great, but the fucking result was you getting your head smashed.
Yeah, pre-fight burns that ended in losses.
That is a great one.
Yeah,
that is a fucking
Dominic
fantastic one.
How is this listed as BITB in my contacts? I don't know. I think I've got the wrong information. But thanks anyway. It's Steven Mann. If you know anything, if you're familiar with my social media and otherwise, just forget it. I'll figure out what to do about this incorrect contact listing.
Wait, run that back?
What the fuck did I just listen to?
How is this listed as BITB in my contacts?
How is this listed as BITB in my
I think I've got the wrong
contacts?
information. But thanks anyway. It's Steven Mann. If you know anything,
What is the bleep?
if you're familiar with my
So
wait, do we think this is actually on accident?
So some guy looked in his contacts, saw BITB, didn't know what BITB was,
and
called it.
I don't know.
And then told us, like, can you help me figure out what BITB is?
I don't know if that's real.
Is it real?
It's real.
Wow.
Shout out to that guy.
I suppose.
Well, if you watch the show, now you'll hear yourself. This is what BITB is. This is what BITB is. It's
We
us.
had to have watched it and then typed it into his phone and saved it. But
then
who calls a number that is like, oh, I saw this number in my phone.
What
so
is
I decided
this?
to call it.
Do you think he saved it when he was as drunk as humanly possible, and now he's sober and he's like, oh, what the fuck is BITB? And then he called us?
It's a great point.
It's a great point. Shout out to that guy. Confused about the BITB.
Shout out.
Should we text him on the phone line and be like, it's us, and just keep it ominous? Should we try to blackmail him?
Yes.
Give us $10,000.
Give us $10 million or we'll release the tapes.
Shout out to that guy.
What's up, boys in the back? This is Adam calling in from Amsterdam. Just a quick question for you guys. Let's assume that the UFC randomly has a change of heart and decides to put Colby Covington back on the White House card. Who would your ideal opponent for Colby be? I thought up until very recently that either Michael Chiesa or Gilbert Burns would have still been somewhat interesting matchups there. But let me know what you guys think. Cheers.
Colby?
That's a good question. Adam, first of all, I need you to call back next week. What are the chances Netherlands wins the World Cup? We need the update.
Adam calls a lot. He'll definitely call back on that.
How are we feeling about Netherlands World Cup chances? Shout out to him. Shout out to the Orange. Yeah, Colby.
I got two answers.
Yeah, go ahead. No longer ranked, by the way.
Number one, doesn't make a lot of sense ranking-wise, but Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington have had some great fights. I don't mind seeing another one of those. Like, that feels like two guys on the end of the... Like, again, it's very clear that Kamaru is much better right now than Colby is, right?
No
It's
doubt.
very clear that Kamaru's drop-off has not been significant and Colby's has, no doubt. But they had some great fights. They had a rivalry. I wouldn't hate one of those if Kamaru loses. If
If
Kamaru
he loses. If
Kamaru
but
starts
he's-
losing...
He's vying for a title.
Give me Colby.
Yeah.
The one I really want to see, it will be an absolute fucking beatdown. It will never happen. It's the one I've always wanted to see. It's Colby Covington versus Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier hates Colby Covington.
Oh, it'd be so good.
Despises him, wants to hurt him, wants to kill him, but does not want to give him the opportunity to make money off his name. Totally understand that from Dustin Poirier. I would love to see Dustin Poirier get to beat the shit out of Colby if he wanted to.
No chance.
But Dustin doesn't need to take that fight, nor would he.
Someone in the chat did point out, I think it was Sleeto, to Bangers pre-fight that never came to fruition.
Or they lost, right?
Yeah, they ended up losing the fight. It's like training on Epstein files without the sex.
Without the sex.
It ended up just not. It didn't.
Banger line, and then
if he had won, it would have been in the pantheon.
Oh, without the sex, just continues to be. It's the
out.
gift that keeps on giving.
What's good?
Bodkins, baby. Wow.
It's
Energy's
boy
there.
Bodkins. Hopefully you guys had a great break. It looked like Connor, you had a great time over hanging out with PT and everybody.
Loved it.
Boys, you know I'm always here to ask the super hard question.
Ask away.
You're in a bar fight.
Yeah.
If you could knock that person just unconsciously, how would you do it? Is it a flying knee like Sandhagen? Is it a kick to the face like Chandler to Tony? I mean, how would you want to knock out an individual unconscious in a bar where everybody's like, holy shit, I'm not fucking with that guy. Bodkins out, baby. Have the best week of your life.
Easy answer.
What is it?
You're standing at range, spinning back kick, head blown off his shoulders. You just like brush yourself off and you walk out of the bar and everyone is going absolutely nuts. Yeah. I'm talking like we're not in the throes of the fight. He's talking mad shit and you spinning
just do
back
it?
kick him.
That would be pretty cool.
Heel to the bottom of his jaw and just completely schlumps him.
Does he even engage, or he's still talking and you just
He's
start
talking
spinning?
shit, and you're just like, I'm done with this, and you're just spinning back kick, just like dislocate his jaw. He never saw it coming. He wakes up and is like, what the fuck happened? And people
Is
are
there
like,
an argument
bro.
to that being almost too flashy, and there's some brilliance to the simplicity of just a right fucking straight to the jaw that's like cleaner and more easy to understand?
That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, like just like KOing someone with a punch.
Just a
It's like
fucking
nasty
one
punch.
clean punch, just slumped.
Have you ever seen the video? There's two that always comes to mind.
Okay.
The bodyguard of the streamer, that like huge, like hulking dude against like some little puny streamer who's talking shit, and the guy's just had it, and he just unloads
Yes,
a straight
yes.
right and completely
In
just
London, right? He was like,
wherever it was, he put the kid on his ass so fast it wasn't even funny. Didn't knock the kid out cold, but he like was dazed, didn't know where he was.
it was like outside like a restaurant or a club, right? There was like barrier. He was security.
They were outside of some party. I can't remember. It may have been the fucking the dude that fought Andre Arlovsky or talked shit to.
Oh,
Yeah,
then
shout
I'm thinking
to
of a different video. Okay,
The dude that talked shit to Andre Arlovsky at a different party.
Got
his
it.
security guard
Got it.
just unloaded a right on a guy.
Great.
Another one is a dude. Like this old guy is like talking so much shit, like having road rage, and the guy is just like can't take it anymore. And you see him literally just like crank all the way back and just unload a right hook on the guy and completely colds him.
I just recently saw a funny one of a guy who was just walking around one-hitter quittering like 6 guys in a row. Like he was just like, bop, one guy gets dropped, walks over, the next guy, it was like a fucking kung fu movie.
Right?
Yeah, I saw that one in the street. That's another one that would be cool. Is it not the style? If you took on multiple guys and KO'd them all.
Just John Wick fucking
And like
one
after you
by
finish the
one.
last one, you're like, all right, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
You just bounce.
There's one of those. where
And someone gets it on video, and you're just like, yeah, that was me.
one that someone gets dropped, and then like the girlfriend runs over and is like screaming and like tossing the head back and forth. It's like, look, if someone gets knocked out, leave them there.
Oh, I thought you were about to say the girlfriend was about to get knocked out. I was scared for a second there.
All right, man.
My favorite version, like style of this type of thing is not the like, okay, this guy got knocked the fuck out. It's this guy didn't know that this guy was a professional boxer and was moments away from death. Like it's almost like the John Jones confrontation video where it's like this guy the boxer kept his cool and didn't kill the guy, but like everybody who was recording then recognizes it's the boxer and is like, yeah, you almost died, bro. Like you actually almost died.
There was one of those recently at a Cowboys game.
I think that's what I'm thinking of.
The
most
guy kept
recently,
like
the football
flinching
game.
at him,
Yeah.
and the guy just like laughed. He
Yeah.
was just like, dude, I could fucking. And also, it was in the stands, and the boxer had the high ground. It's just like, dude, you would
You
have.
don't know what was about to happen here.
People just forget, man. Fighting is a sport. It is an athletic event. If you do not fight, you are going to look like a clown if you try to fight.
Don't try to
It's
fight.
like, bro, it's like basketball. If I went and played one-on-one against LeBron James, but I never played basketball before, even if I did it against a high school basketball player, but you had never played one-on-one before, you would get embarrassed.
Not, even worse than that, if you don't play basketball and the person you're going against doesn't play basketball, it still looks fucking bad
Yes,
for
it's
both
terrible.
of you.
It's
That's
so
the same
bad.
thing with fighting. Don't fight if you don't know how to fight. Even if the other people don't know how to fight too and you can beat them, you're both going to look like shit. Stop fighting. Like there's no reason to fight.
1,000%.
So Botkins, we're not fighting. We're pacifists.
But if anything, spinning back.
Boys in the back, this is Michael from North Carolina. Well, soon I'm about to be back in Denver, Colorado. But before I
congrats,
go,
brother.
speaking of North Carolina,
Shout out.
Connor, were you referencing fucking Eastbound and Down bloopers reels last week? That's such an insane pull.
Wow, that's
Boys in the
I can't
back.
believe you called about
I know
this.
we all grow up with certain comedies that we go down the YouTube rabbit hole for.
Yeah.
Clearly that was Connor's, and then
One
for
of
some reason I'm going to guess Superbad for him as well. But what about the rest of you guys? What comedy rabbit hole did you guys go down the YouTube train when you were in high school, college? Oh, sorry, New York Rick. Whenever you guys had YouTube.
What does that mean?
I think he was calling you old, bro.
Or is he saying I didn't go to college? What is he saying?
That there was no YouTube while you were in high school or college.
Oh, okay, fair.
Okay, absolutely incredible poll by this guy. Because
What is the reference?
The reference was when we were talking about something, and I said all the while, and then I paused, and I was like, all the while, which is Will Ferrell in a blooper reel.
He's the car salesman.
He's the car salesman with the white hair, and he's just like, I can feel it in my plums.
In my plums.
Is a 2-for-1 special down at the market, like a bright bluish hue. And then like he goes so deep, and it's like him and his wife start having sex, and the kid walk in, and like he starts cracking up, and everyone else does too. And he's like, all the while. And he like starts laughing, and he's like, all the while. And like, it's just so fucking good. The bloopers from that show are some of the funniest ever. The show period is so good. Shout out to Eastbound and Down. Shout out to Kenny Powers. He says like, what comedy rabbit holes? I mean, like all of them. Like we grew up in like the golden era of comedy movies, like, or at least the last age of them.
Forget the movies. What were you at that time looking up on eBums World, YouTube,
like
blah, 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 to make you fucking crack up?
funnyjunk.com. Bloopers are hilarious, but like, just like...
Do you remember the fucking Power Rangers, X-Men voiceover shit?
Oh, yeah.
Those were fucking creasing me.
The Fensler films, G.I. Joes.
The G.I. Joe's PSAs were creasing me.
Okay, he ended up on SNL, but Kyle...
Oh, yeah.
Kyle Mooney, bro. Me and my boys used to always quote the stoner videos where like he was just high as shit, and he was like selling weed, Hengel Blast Cologne, everything like that.
Fucking
salad fingers.
Salad fingers, yeah, but like in hindsight, it really wasn't funny at all. It was just like kind of unsettling.
Donald Glover prior. It's so funny to me because I love Donald Glover and used to watch his shitty. He was in a sketch comedy troupe called Derek Comedy, where they made the stupidest fucking videos of all time. Like, stupid as hell. Very funny, very problematic, very stupid. And then the fact that he's now this like mega like respected rapper, entrepreneur, actor, director is very funny to me because I remember him as a dude who made a sketch where like they came over with a GameCube and found a dildo or something. Like it's unbelievably lowbrow and stupid. But this was the type of shit I was watching. Derek Comedy.
I know
actually, Bobby Moynihan was in that one.
Right?
Yes.
There's a $100 bill in the GameCube, and they keep pulling stuff.
Did anybody watch Tourette's Guy?
Yes, of course.
Fuck.
Yeah, of course.
Ding Fries Are Done, the Burger King song.
Don't know that one.
I can't sing it.
It's problematic.
The whole thing of it is ridiculous. That was a very like funnyjunk.com, eBombs World type deal.
Charlie the Unicorn, guys.
Charlie the Unicorn. Yep, that is
me
so.
on that one?
Charlie. That's like the like very 2000s YouTube.
I don't know that one. I know Charlie Bit My Finger.
Actually, you would like it.
Yeah, not Charlie Bit My Finger. It's like it's almost like 2D animation.
Okay.
Flash animation.
Flash animation, yeah. And then just like all the shows back then, South Park, Family Guy.
Yeah.
Just like all the dumbass shows. He said Superbad. All those movies, Superbad, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, Tropic Thunder, Pineapple Express.
Yeah.
Any of those movies that came out from like 2001 to like 2009, they were getting watched for sure.
Yep.
All time. The fact that you picked up on that, ball, bro.
He
ball.
said you had a pull, but he had a pull by recognizing your pull.
Because I chuckled to myself when I said it. All the while. One of the funniest.
It's such a non sequitur. It's such a throwaway line. The fact that you said it and he recognized it.
In my opinion, it's the funniest blooper reel ever. You've got Will Ferrell.
Let's run it back.
No. Yeah. Just go watch it. Just Eastbound and Down, Will Ferrell blooper reel. It's so fucking good.
Hey, boys. It's Michael from Covina calling.
What's up, Mike?
And I just wanted to say thank you guys for giving me something to distract myself during my weight cuts for my fight.
Oh, shit.
I'm fighting this weekend. Got a Muay Thai fight.
Oh,
but
shit.
I did want to talk about a funny story that happened to me one time during a weight cut. I'm kind of new to the fight game, so I didn't know what I should be eating or how to diet or how to start my weight cut. And I had to cut like 20 pounds the week of my fight. So I kind of starved myself, and I was trying to force myself to shit. And that wasn't a good idea.
Hell yeah.
Because after the fight, I just ate whatever I wanted, ate greasy foods, and I gave myself hemorrhoids. Really bad.
Shit.
Very bad. And I was embarrassed. I didn't know who to go to. who to tell. I was scared to go to the doctor. So I was just kind of dealing with it on my own. And one day I went for a run, getting ready to go train and stuff.
No.
I finished the run. My ass was wet.
No.
So I had to get some toilet paper, and I found out my hemorrhoids exploded on my run.
Oh, my God.
And so, yeah.
It's tough.
I was just wondering if you guys had any medical issues that you were too scared to handle in the moment, but now that it's passed, you're kind of like, oh, hey, you know, I went through this. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.
Oh my God. Oh God.
Damn,
Michael.
I don't know, man. Yeah, hemorrhoids exploding on your run is pretty bad.
That's gnarly as fuck.
You said you ate some greasy food, man. It sounds deeper than that.
No, because he's saying his stomach was so fucked up from cutting weight and then switching back to like the shitty food that it developed it.
Man.
But fuck.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Nah, man, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
I don't have anything like that.
No.
By the way, I tried to. I might have found Michael because I looked on Tapology.
Oh, the fighter, Muay Thai.
We got a Michael Williams who lives fighting out of Covina, California. He trains at Sityodtong, Los Angeles, a Muay Thai gym.
Sick.
It doesn't have his upcoming fight here, but he fought in December 2025. He fought in September 2025. Might be our Michael. Shout out to you,
man. Shout out.
Hopefully
Muay Thai
we got
is
the
fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Shout out
hopefully
to you.
we got the hemorrhoid situation under
hopefully
control.
you're good on the roids,
Hopefully the
man.
weight cut is going better, and let's get a dub. He said this weekend. Let's get a dub this
Don't be
weekend.
afraid to go to the doctor. Just
Don't be afraid to go to the doctor.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping I don't have hemorrhoids anytime soon.
Just talking about them forms them, I think.
Oh, I just wanted to add something too. If
is
you
this
can
hemorrhoids again?
give me two terrible growls and Ariel moan, that'll be great. Thanks, Frank.
Oh! What about the? Love it.
Did you find out that or did I tell you guys I found out that the start of that like where it came from?
Oh, you found it.
Someone sent it to me.
Oh.
No, that's the T one. The
yeah.
Someone said this was during the Jean Silva video that he made that was AI promoting his last fight.
Okay, he was so excited about the video.
I still have the theory that like he was looking at his phone and he looked up and he was like, "Oh!"
Wait, have you confirmed that that's that, or somebody told you that that's that?
Someone told me that. I just need to go.
Okay, we'd have to look. All right.
What up, boys?
Don.
Brett from Nebraska.
Oh, Brett. Thought it was Don Davis. I'm sorry, everyone.
Shout out to Serge Ibaka.
Shout out Serge Ibaka.
Been a while.
Yeah.
I wish I could say I was, doing stuff, but really it just been working, and
we get it, man.
Not a lot interesting happening in the UFC. So, gonna completely ignore that. Connor, what's your biggest bucket list sporting event to attend? And Rick, just so you know, you do a great job handling Ariel. Actually, GC, you also do a great job handling Ariel. Like, the Knicks crying drives me crazy to no end, because he just, complains. Complains about the Bills and about the Knicks. And, you weren't even making fun of him. You were just like, yeah, man, cool, whatever. And then he was mad that you weren't making fun of him. It's just one of those victim complexes thing. And meanwhile, they win the NBA Cup, and he acts like, they're never going to lose another game. So, anyway, appreciate you guys. See ya.
Brett
Complaining about Ariel complaining. That's a new one.
Wait, but
Brett pulling no punches.
But Brett is the Oklahoma City guy? No. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy for him to say. He's got a fucking title, probably going to win another ship.
One chip, Brett from Nebraska. Everybody deals with their fandom in their own ways. Hawks going up 2-1 tonight, though. That is good news. Live from the A. State Farm Arena. Highlight Factory.
Why do you keep saying Highlight Factory? Is that the name of the...
That's what they used to call Phillips Arena back in the day.
Okay.
If there's any Atlanta old heads that listen to this show, they will know about the Highlight Factory. That was like Josh Smith, Joe Johnson.
Oh, shit. Shout out to those guys.
Jamal Crawford. Legendary teams.
ISO Joe is the Vince meme. He was special.
Those were some good times. Those are some good years. Never forget the 2015 Hawks team.
Neither will
Undefeated January. Hey, your fucking Cavs swept them out of the Eastern Conference
beat
Finals.
the fuck out of them.
Yeah, 0-16 against LeBron in the playoffs. Love LeBron, and like when we play him in the playoffs, I hated him. That's beside the point. Bucket list sporting event?
Yeah, what is the thing you have to go to?
There's a few. So like I've already done Sunday at the Masters, Sunday at the U.S. Open, Sunday at the PGA Championship. So I want to do Sunday at the British Open, the Open, so I can say that I went to all 4 majors of golf. That'd be great. I've already done U.S. Open final and French Open final in tennis. I don't know how I'm ever going to do Wimbledon. Tickets are so hard to get. Like I lucked out with Sunday at the Masters. My dad got a hookup. I don't know how I'm going to get to a Wimbledon final, but Australian Open final I want to go to. And then World Cup matches. I'd love to go to the final, but it's just too expensive. It's like $8,000. Big, giant stage moments. The real bucket list was seeing Georgia win a natty, which I've already seen. So yeah, everything else is just cake from here.
Atlanta Hawks finals, Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl.
Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl would be incredible, but like the Super Bowl is another one that it's just like I would just have to luck in tickets. Like I'm not spending $10K to go potentially see my team lose. Like imagine if you spent $10K to go watch them 28-3 it.
That had to be brutal for the Hawks fans. I mean the Falcons fans.
Oh God, I know a friend who was there. Tough. So yeah, I would say bucket list right now in the near future is World Cup matches. I will be attending those this summer for sure.
What up, boys? It's Chunk from South Carolina.
What's up, Chunk?
Ariel did it again, damn it. He made another noise. It was either on Monday or Tuesday of this week. I can't remember which, but Frank hit the drop, like the moaning drop. Anyways, if that can be added to the repertoire, that'd be phenomenal. On another note, I don't think there's anybody I want to see in the broadcasting game more than Darren Till. I think he has the potential to be MMA's like Bill Walton, like how Bill Walton was as a commentator. The actual insight, mileage may vary, but the comedy gold, well worth it. Pair him up with someone that's doing play-by-play that's more of a straight shooter. I think he could be great. Honestly, Ariel, that could be his into broadcasting. So, just a thought. But can you imagine? Can you imagine Darren Till on the mic? Can you imagine the calls? That's fucking Terrapin or whatever. Anyway, love you guys. Love the show. Peace.
The Terrapin line has traveled now. People really love the Terrapin line.
Me and you, massive pop in the control room for the Terrapin line. It was so good. Like calling a bald dude as a bald guy a Terrapin is just fucking great. And to say it with the Scouser accent, you fucking Terrapin is so good.
I didn't even know what a Terrapin was.
Yeah, it's a turtle.
I looked it up.
Yeah, I mean, so good. Shout out to Maryland Terrapins.
I was going to say Jordan would have popped. He would have known Terrapin.
Shout out to Terrapin Beer Company, Athens, Georgia. Got bought by Coors. That's not here nor there.
Darren in the booth doesn't make sense, though.
If you could get a place where he's allowed to say whatever he wants, sure.
You can find that analyst, right? Like if you do like Darren on a desk, I'll take like. I don't think Darren is not the next Bill Walton. Darren could be the next Charles Barkley.
Darren Till on the desk would be fantastic.
Darren on a desk.
Pair Darren Till with Chael Sonnen, and you could have a fucking
that would be
great conversation.
Yeah, especially because Chael wouldn't understand half the the things he's saying too. Like it'd be
pay him
fucking
enough
amazing.
too. Darren's in.
No, he couldn't be at a desk. Like it need to be like he's on his phone while running, or,
It's on Zoom.
Or it's just chill because he's in fucking Thailand and they weren't able to get him on the phone.
Yeah.
Well played, Frank.
I love it.
Well played.
I love it.
Well played.
Hi, boys. This is Jack calling from Melbourne. I'm sure the sound quality is shit. Frank,
You sound tired, Jack.
I'm in the car. What can I do? You guys are my go-to podcast every morning at 3 a.m. when I start work, and your program starts at 3 a.m. So thank you for the entertainment.
Shout out to you.
Tap in live.
Connor, hopefully today you're wearing the fucking Hawks jersey.
Oh.
Like, you're the head of the HR. Fucking Ariel's fucking bullying you. Tell that soft cunt. It's fucking games happening. There's 2 games a fucking week.
You're the head of
Eat
HR.
a bag of cement and harden the fuck up. Like, what the fuck, bro? What, you can't wear a fucking T-shirt? This is coming from a person who doesn't like fucking uniforms. Make you guys wear fucking uniforms if you don't like fucking you wearing.
Chill, I don't want to wear a uniform.
Jersey.
Chill out.
You got me worked up. And fucking Woke Bench and Eric, mate, you need to fucking support Connor on this. But I understand that Ariel's in his field, but Jesus Christ, mate. What a fucking rant and a half, wasn't it?
He's the HR.
Besides the point, okay, Connor, this is for you, GC.
Okay.
I have I love two games. One is tennis, the other one's US. Like, the other one's MMA.
Let's go.
And
same.
You talking about coming to Melbourne to attend the Australian Open. I was lucky enough to watch the semi-final against Djokovic and Federer a few years ago.
Fuck,
I'd love to take you to the Australian Open in January. That's when it happens in Melbourne. And then show you the sights around. So just in case of UFC's coming over and you're coming over, mate, just get in touch with me. We'll hit the sites in Victoria, and that'd be it. All right, keep up the good work, boys. Thank you.
Australian Open is truly a dream of mine to go down there for it, and a lot of the times the UFC has been syncing up the schedule that it's perfect that like you could go and like spend like a week and a half in Australia and go to the US Open and to a UFC event. Dream. I'm not gonna lie, I badgered my boys heavy to do it this year, and they were like next year. So we'll see. We'll see if 2027 is the year, but as it usually is, I don't need to be I'm not the one that needs to be convinced. I'm in. Right. I'm down for it. In terms of the Hawks stuff, it actually is funny. I was on the way to work and I forgot. I cannot even lie to you. I forgot the game was tonight because this means way more to Ariel than it means to me. I am a openly casual Hawks fan. When they're good, I'm supporting, bro. I am there for it. I am not wasting my time watching a team go to be a 9 seed in the playoff in the play-in game year after year, which they have been since they made the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021. Like, when you're watching these games, you're spending like 2.5 hours watching them. I don't need to be doing that for a franchise, for a team that is not going to do anything for me in return. The Hawks have been mediocre my entire life. They've had 3 good seasons, I think, in the history of my existence. They've never made a finals. Like, they are just not a good franchise. So, like, this whole, like, you're a front runner. You are fucking right. I am a front runner for a team that I've never seen make a finals. I'm not going to waste my time to do that. I think they're a decent run organization, but they're nothing special. Up until the All-Star break, when they got rid of Trae Young, they were, again, lining straight up to be a play-in team. They are shit. They are what they always are. I went to a game earlier this year. It was like I was watching pickup basketball in a rec league gym. It was like 168 to 166. I was like, what even is this? I actually was. I was like, where's ISO Joe at? Like, give me Joe Johnson back. So yeah, like, I'm not too bothered by it. Ariel cares a lot about the Knicks. Like, it's
that's part of his identity.
It's his identity, man. Like, it's something that like he holds close to his heart. It doesn't matter nearly as much to me. So like, it is what it is to me. Plus, like, I don't want it to go members only on you guys, you know? I actually wouldn't put him past him to actually do that.
Like how he, called you head of HR. You need to, like,
that was all time. That's super meta.
Also, he's like, woke from bench and fucking me. We have to support you in this endeavor.
Trust me, if he was like a diehard, if the roles were reversed and, like, Georgia was playing Syracuse in the college football playoff, I think it would be the exact same way.
Yeah. What's funny about the Hawks is, you're right, like, they haven't had any, like, even their most spectacular season, that one that you were talking about, they got fucking trounced by the Cavs in the playoffs.
The 2 best years are 2015 and 2021, and both ended in the Eastern Conference Finals.
But they've had good players.
Dude, there was one, at one point, I want to say it was like 2018 or 2019, we were second to only the Spurs in longest active playoff streaks. We made the playoffs like every year.
They've always been like solid.
Yeah.
Like,
bro, the Paul Millsap.
I gotta be honest.
Kyle Korver.
I like their team right now. Even I don't think they're gonna beat the Knicks, but I like their team. Like, fucking
good team.
Dyson Daniels is really good. I like Dyson Daniels a lot. They got a solid squad. They always have. Like Joe Johnson, Josh. You named a lot of the guys. It is weird that they never like really broke through.
Honestly, I thought it was Trae Young in 2021.
Yeah,
but like, you know, I said. Bro, I support the Braves. I support the Falcons. I support the Hawks. Those are my teams. The Braves are obviously the best franchise from Atlanta for me, but like Falcons haven't really paid many dividends. They had the 2016 season. They had the 1998 season.
Into Super Bowls.
Yeah, 98 and 2016. They went to Super Bowls, which is sick. Got embarrassed by the Broncos and got embarrassed by the Patriots.
Boy, it was so good till it was so bad.
The thing about Atlanta teams is like most of the time they're like decent.
Yeah.
They're not good enough to be like, yo, we might win the chip. You get that rare year, 2021 Hawks, 2021 Braves, where they actually did win the chip. Shout out to the fucking Braves. Ended the Atlanta curse. And then Georgia followed up with the back-to-back. And then like the 2016 Falcons, 2012 Falcons were also nasty. But the in-betweens, it's just like this like mediocrity that like you can't care about. What are the Falcons picking tonight?
I don't know.
I'm guessing they're picking in like the 7 to 14 range.
But they've also had some like
incredible players.
Iconic. Like Mike Vick is an iconic football player.
We don't have a first round draft pick. Sweet.
Yeah, great.
Sweet.
Mike Vick is legitimately you didn't even acquire anybody's in the
we picked
the
48.
Murray
48th is our first.
Mike Vick is an iconic sports star.
Yeah.
Like one of the most like recognizable at his peak supernova level sports stars of all time. Like you've had guys and then like the Braves have had some legendary teams, legendary Hall of Fame players.
Yeah.
Chipper is a fucking all-timer.
All time. Freddie Freeman.
Maddox.
It breaks my heart to see people being like Freddie Freeman, the Dodger. We were out with E.K.C. Leiden in Seattle, and like somehow Freddie Freeman came up. I was like, Braves legend. He was like, he played for the Braves? I was like, Jesus Christ. Fuck, man. Championships are really all that matter. Yeah. And then
hasn't been the same since Dan Quinn left, you know.
Wow.
Shout out Dan Quinn. What a
Shout
reference.
out to you, Dan Quinn. I mean, kicked the field goal with, Matt Bryant, one of the most solid kickers in the league that year. He's a Super Bowl winning coach and probably still coaching for the Falcons. There's a statue of Matt Ryan and Julio Jones outside of the arena. But that's, we don't need to get into all that. We don't need to get into all that. Shout out to Atlanta sports. Shout out to the Atlanta Dream. People forget. Atlanta United. Y'all sleep. MLS Cup champs 2018.
That's all the voicemails.
All right. That's my Atlanta sports rant for the day.
It was fitting for that call. That was a great call.
Georgia football as well. 2-time, back-to-back. Don't forget.
Is next year the year you do the Australian Open UFC?
It all depends on my friends because I can't do that trip alone.
Do you predict that it will be the year?
My friend who is privy, we've spoken about him many times on the show, my boy Jake, he's privy to doing things. Like he is willing to spend money and go do things.
Okay.
Which I can't say about a lot of my friends in our current age. Marriage, kids, all that.
Yeah.
My boy Jake is a friend that is like down for the cause, loves tennis too. So
you feel like you could get it done, maybe?
I feel like we can get it done.
Does the UFC card have to even be good?
Nope.
You don't care. You're just like, if I could pull off the doubleheader.
Going to a card in Australia would be great. I just imagine it would just be like me and a flock of Australians just downing VB Longnecks as we just like float into the arena.
The Aussies fucking call all the time. They love you. They're dying for you to come. They want you there.
It is my dream place to go. It's a fucking haul from the States. It is a haul and a half from there.
Sure is.
Like that flight to Seattle kind of beat my ass. The flight to Australia will kill me.
I did the flight to Seattle, return, Hawaii, and then return. I was getting my miles in.
Shout out. Did I actually, this will be brief. Did I tell you about, we took the flight to Seattle. It was like 6.5 hours, right? Yeah. I flew to Ireland the next week. It was 5.5.
Yeah.
The flight to Seattle, they barely even threw a bag of pretzels at us.
Nothing. Yeah.
I'm cool with. I don't need that shit. Just leave me be when I'm on the plane. We'll get there when we get there and I'll get something to eat then. Like, yeah, bring us some water or whatever like that. I don't need the snacks. The flight to Ireland, it's a night takeoff. They're like, oh, sit back, relax, get some shut-eye, enjoy the flight. An hour in, they do a meal service. They come in, elbows, knees, cart coming through.
Wait, before we continue, what airline are we talking about?
United.
Okay.
I am not a plain meal eater. Not doing it.
Okay, never.
I am never.
Snacks, though?
Sure, I'll do the nuts. Yeah, for sure. But like the microwave meal that they're coming through with.
The aluminum foil top that you have to peel off. You're
not touching it, bro. No chance. I'm not having a Smith & Walensky at 35,000 feet. No chance I'm touching that.
The hemorrhoids from our
bro.
Michael.
I ain't getting the roids up a mile up in the air. Options on the way to Ireland?
Yeah.
Butter chicken?
Yeah.
Shepherd's pie.
Sounds great.
Stunk up the entire cabin. I was asleep and I was just like, I had the like do not disturb thing on. I come to, I'm just like, I'm like, yo, what? I was sitting next to my friend. I was like, what is that? And they were like, it's butter chicken and shepherd's pie. I was like, God damn. I was like, yo. I was like, I can't smell anything but the butter chicken. Like, it is just like in my face. It's just like, who decided we should all cram into a tiny cabin and get in this small little metal tube at 35,000 feet and serve Indian food? That's beyond me. You know, that's not up to me. And then I pass back out. They go, lights down. It's only a 5.5 hour flight. 45 minutes later, elbows, knees, we're coming through. They're like, spinach feta croissant or chorizo egg sandwich. And I was just like, I'm good on either. Thank you so much. Stunk up the fucking cabin again. I was just like, and there was some guy on there who crushed the shepherd's pie, crushed the chorizo breakfast sandwich, down 2 cups of coffee, and hit the ground running when we got to Dublin. That was I was actually thinking of Frankie. I was like, Frankie would have shouldered me and been like, get the butter chicken so I can have both. Crush both. Did the same thing for the spinach feta croissant. Crush both, and then be like, couple extra cups of coffee down here, please. And then be like, let's attack the day in Dublin.
Okay, I won't shame Frank because I would have done that too.
Y'all are fucking.
Did the person you're with eat the food?
No.
I was gonna see if there was a review. I wanted to know if the food was any good.
The guy sitting across the aisle from me
was happy as a clam. He's the double and the coffee guy.
The guy across from me crushed the butter chicken, 3 Michelob Ultras, got a shot of whiskey. It's like 2 a.m. Eastern. Spinach feta croissant, ate his wife's chorizo breakfast sandwich, man. 2 cups of coffee, and was ready to attack the day.
Legend.
We touched down at 7 a.m. Dublin time, and he was probably just like, let's get after it.
What a fucking legend.
Yeah.
What a fucking legend.
And like the stewardesses, I ate right before we got on the flight. The stewardesses could not believe that I didn't take the food. When I said no to the meal, they were like, just let me know and I'll bring one by. I was like, trust me, I'm
good.
Cool on the shepherd's pie. And then when I said no to the croissant, she was taken aback. She was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. We are in the air for 5 hours. Like, let's just get on with it and get to our destination.
I love that.
So shout out to, how about that airplane food, huh? Shout out to it. We got any super chats, Frankie?
Wait, Frankie, confirm or deny, would you house his butter chicken?
I don't think I'd fuck with the meal. I'd drink all the coffee for sure.
Yeah, dude, Frankie sets up an IV to the Delta coffee whenever he flies.
Delta coffee.
He's like, you had that Delta coffee? I'm like,
Delta specifically?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's just Starbucks, but like.
Oh, is that what it is? Delta has a partnership with Starbucks. Okay, got it.
I just don't play games, man. I see some people getting on these flights and they're just like, yep, just got my double bacon cheeseburger from Shake Shack and a milkshake, and I got my venti frappuccino to wash it all down before locking in.
That's me.
You guys are nuts. Yeah. You guys are nuts.
Don't remember we did I did the fucking spiciest hot wings challenge the day before we left for the flight.
Could not be
at
me,
like
bro.
5 p.m.
That shit light, man. I will gorge food when I get to my destination. But like, bro, on the flight to Seattle, I got up to go to the bathroom at one point and it was like 9 people deep. Imagine if things, God forbid,
chicken.
Imagine if the butter chicken was hitting. Like, God forbid. Ay. All right, Frankie, any super chats?
That's great.
Smoke Season 1162 feels like I'm still getting used to Paul GC. Crazy to think that the James Tahuna moment was a year ago. Time flies when you're having fun.
Shit, I've been bald for over 2 years now, man. I'm pretty much used to it.
Am I not?
Yeah, it was March 2024, so you got to get with the times, man.
Oh, because you're wearing a hat. It's like he probably is thinking,
oh,
I forgot that you're wearing a hat in the clip.
Yeah, year since James Tahuna. Shout out, man.
Joshua Free, Big Dog Rick and GC, you know we need a BITB jersey.
We gotta get some BITB merch.
We gotta figure it out.
embroidered. You know what I'm talking about, Frankie.
Embroidered is the way to go. Yeah. Faded perspective. Not going to lie. I think Ilia needs to beat Arman to beat Islam. From a wrestling standpoint, if Ilia gets through Arman, then he might have the Islam win in the bag.
It's kind of what Rick said.
I agree that it's a good test. What was that?
Brother.
Islam seems to think otherwise.
That one is gonna be a sneaky. When Ariel first hears that on Monday, that one's gonna be. Oh boy,
it's class. It's absolute class.
I don't think that he necessarily needs to beat Arman as like a sub boss to it. Like he could go to Islam. I think it would be a great indicator though. If he gets by Arman, then it's like shit. Like I have to shut my mouth. He could do whatever he says he could do. He could definitely give trouble to Islam. I need to see it though. Both of those guys are insanely good grapplers.
And lastly, Smoke Season 1162 writes back, on the topic of superheroes, please watch Invincible.
Ooh, I've heard of it, but I don't know about it.
My kid recommended it. I started reading it because he
Do you know any of the story? Like, do you know what it's about?
Like, it's a family of superheroes.
Yeah. Okay.
And like the son is coming into like age where he gets like his superpowers, and it's to be honest, I started reading it and I'm like, this is good. I need to like find the time to crush it, and then I get into that dilemma of like, well, should I just watch it then or whatever?
Yeah.
Is the comic and the show different, or is the show just a version of the
comic is over? And the show is still on, so like it remains to be seen. Are they going to?
Got it. They might change at some point. Are you watching The Boys?
No.
I've watched a couple seasons of it. I haven't watched the end.
I'm watching the last season. It's okay so far. I like The Boys. I would have had Homelander on my list if I was doing just super-powered individuals, but I did stick to heroes. But Homelander is an all-timer.
Shout out. I'm looking in the chat here. MVENAR says GC sounds weak as fuck, to be honest. And then someone says complaining about dank food, eh? If you think the microwave meals on an airplane is dank food, I got a bridge to sell you.
There's something to be said, like when you're that high in altitude, like food is supposed to hit different.
Yeah, I've heard ginger ale scientifically does hit different.
I think that's why the coffee from Delta is so good.
Yeah. I had a boy.
All right.
Was on a international flight. They were serving cod.
Oh fuck!
He had the cod.
Fish.
Yeah.
He had the cod and was quickly in the bathroom along with many others, and the flight turned into an international disaster.
There was a limit. They don't serve cod. You're like, yeah, I'll have that.
Fish might be my limit.
Yeah.
Fish might be my limit.
Shrimp cocktail?
I will eat all those meals. Those meals that you were talking about, I would have fucking devoured the butter chicken, no problem. Fish that comes in a microwave tray.
Yeah, was he on Con Air?
I'm out.
He was actually on Cod Air.
Cod Air. Well, that explains it then, right?
And it's a bunch of guys in cod pieces.
Yeah. Look, man, I'm not judging you for eating it.
You're just not participating.
I'm explicitly judging you for eating it, but I am also not participating as well. Actually, the on-plane meals I'm not judging. The ones that I'm really judging are the people that pull up with the triple bacon cheeseburgers and the venti cold brews. And they're like, let's have at it.
Coming onto the airplane with like a feast is a weird move.
And the coffee to wash it down it's just wild to me. That's for another day. That's for another story. UFC Vegas 116 this weekend. That's going to do it for us here on the Boys in the Back. Crack tomorrow. Pizza, gang. They'll get you ready for the weekend. Apex card. And we're back on Monday. Regular scheduled programming. UFC Perth week. Morning fights. JDM, Carlos Proches, Naoya Inoue. Oh, yeah. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate the calls. We appreciate the super chats. We appreciate you viewing. Until next time.